The Rap Roundtable.
Episode 125 of the #1 podcast for hip-hop. Get your ones up in the chat. You know what I'm saying? If you feel away,
you niggas wrong.
Ain't our fault. We the best. It's the Rap Roundtable here. Ones up in the chat. Hit the like button. We need at least 500 likes on each and every video. Hit the subscribe option. Hit the notification bell. Lock in with the Rap Roundtable. Merch website coming on the way. Cloth certified t-shirts on the way. Shout out to BTG. You see Masito got the white variety in the cut over there. Cloth certified merch on the way. Still got a few more of these hats as well if you need that. So lock in, you know what I mean? It's your boy Jarv here alongside the Rap Snob.
What up?
Alongside Diddy the Balance. Alongside your homie Mase. You can find the Rap Roundtable on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and of course Twitter. We spend a lot of time on Twitter. Tapping with us over there. Sometimes they love us, sometimes they hate us. We're either dodging roses or tomatoes depending on the day.
That's true.
Well, yeah.
Got the extra.
Nah, it's not.
That's not. I'm playing.
That man is rolling over.
Yeah.
Although
the only X we acknowledge is.
Although the Elon Musk babyface turn was unexpected this week. You know what I mean? All of a sudden he's throwing Trumpito under the bus. What the fuck was that about?
I'd love to see it, man.
I mean, like a part of me is like, oh, this is engaging. The other part of me is like, well, what's really about to go down?
Right.
What y'all trying to distract us from? You know what I mean?
Know themselves.
10-4 theory immediately. But it was crazy. Like they still beefing right now. But I digress. The beat you hear in the background is brought to you by Sincere Beats. He makes beats.
Holla at me.
Yo, Ransom, he sent that pack over. Pick a couple of them joints. You know what I mean? A little Sincere production alongside Rand.
Yes.
That was going a long way.
Right. Crazy.
Shout out to New York Rap. You know what I mean? Shout out to New York Rap. You know, and that's a new thing we're gonna do in every studio, the New York scene. Shout out to everybody from the underground to the overground to the drillers to the conscious niggas, the sexy drillers, everybody. Shout out New York Rap. You know what I mean? We are still New York's #1 podcast.
Talk about it.
Sincere and Dini have been out recently, locking in with the scene. Had a couple of events over the past couple of weeks. Those guys in the building. You see the hat. You see the guys. They hard to miss. Lock in with us. Shout out to Baba. I bumped into homie.
Salute. Sean Easy.
See.
Baba.
No. Not him. Not him. The one who's connected.
Salute. Correction.
I mean?
Salute.
Bro's been working really hard. I was at the Macy's on 34th. He was getting his shop on. I was getting my shop on. That man, I know we see him in flicks when guys get those Rock Nation deals. You see him over there, got the glasses on, the dreadlocks, everything in the cut. But then when you get to talking to him, he really of this shit. Like my man, like down to Cormega even he's working with, bro. I was stunned like, damn. Because the whole time, you know, you see what you see on the internet, right? And it's like, we've seen him at the events that we go to. So it's like, you know, he has a calm pulse on the culture. He even has Lord Skull in camp as well. We was at the show at the Pyramid last year. So when he got to talking, I got this, and this. I'm like, shit, this guy, he need to be on the Rap Roundtable. I told him, I said, you got a story 100%. To tell. You know what I mean?
Up, man.
Bro, so it was like having to chop up with him, and that was ill because as soon as he seen the hat, he knew who it was already. I was like, the hat means something.
Yo, it's a beacon, bro. It's a beacon at this point.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, man, shout out to New York Rap. Shout out to everybody who plays a role in highlighting New York Rap. We're going to be more responsible about that as well to shine the light so that if we have an audience that's nationwide and fucking in Africa and England and all these other places, then we should talk about it. You know what I mean? Shit like that. But we won't be talking about New York Rap right this second.
Yes.
You got to talk about your guy, Sincere's guy, Kendrick Lamar. You know, having a run of a lifetime, setting records apparently. Like,
yeah, right.
It's chart records, it's Billboard records. I'm just gonna go to Hip Hop DX. Touring. Shout out to 2 T's and the rest of the camp over there. You know what I mean? Salute. Luther has now spent 23 weeks on the charts. He beat his own record previously held by Not Like Us. So the guy, he just continues to play the quote Drake game, making it impossible for the OVO capo to get any room in here when it's like when you're doing the thing, you're doing the highfalutin shit, and you're playing the chart game, and you're playing the chart game without shaking ass to do so or chasing a genre or another country's wave. You're just making music.
Yeah, right.
And you having your own song beat your own record, saying that's kind of amazing, bro.
That's incredible to watch and witness, especially in the year of our Lord 2025, because we spent a lot of time talking about like the state of the game. We spent a lot of time talking about how numbers were depressed. You know what I mean? Last year, especially after the 50th year anniversary, we were all disappointed in how rap was underperforming, it seemed. And it almost looked like, people were looking elsewhere for music, for vibe, for art. Even the artist that a lot of people thought was the leader of the game.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Drake. He was, for better
right.
or worse. we not gonna take points off the board now.
A lot of people thought was the leader of the game.
Little
you know what I mean? He wants to go to all these other genres, wants to do a house album.
What the hell is that?
Yeah,
saying things like, rap's looking weird now.
Is that a bee or a fly?
Funny.
Fly.
What are we talking about?
You don't see this giant insect flying over there?
That shit is diesel. Looks like a bumblebee.
Facts, nah. Hit the pause button on that.
shit.
Get him out of here, bro.
That's dead ass a bumblebee.
Oh, nah, I'm out. I don't do those.
Oh,
Oh.
Walter Great
Oh.
got him caught.
Oh!
Clipped him.
That's the pre-production right there.
Oh!
Walter got experience with this
assassin.
shit.
Nah, I'm allergic to bees. I don't fuck with
Dale Gribble vibes.
I get hit one of those, I look like Hitch out this bitch. You know what I mean?
You allergic for it?
Yeah.
Damn. I don't even know if I'm allergic.
With
'cause I've
Martin
never been
for
sucked.
Tommy Hearns
could
type
be
shit.
Nigga.
Yo,
Nigga. The fire would have done him. I'd be like, call the ambulance.
Shit.
You know what I mean? As you were saying.
But yeah, you know what I mean? Making house albums, saying things like, rap is weird now, rap is funny now.
Being
like,
a bitch ass nigga.
You know
what I mean? Sorry, Mace.
And so we get to 2025 and Kendrick Lamar says, word, I bet. I see y'all. Hold my beer. Watch what I do. You know what I mean? Slappers, chart toppers, breaking tour records. You know what I mean? He's now the only rapper to have 2 of the top 5 highest grossing tours ever.
Not Drake?
Not Drake. You know what I mean?
Drake.
Beating himself out of the record for the longest running #1 record. Not beating Drake. He beat Drake already.
He beat himself.
Now he's just in competition with himself. He's the only competition he has right now.
You got to be careful with beating himself.
Hey, nah, you're right. Time out for me.
Holy moly.
But yeah, man, like, and I'm just gonna talk my shit because I try to tell everybody. I try to tell everybody for years.
He did.
You know what I mean? He's really him. He's really, you know what I mean, the begotten son. You know what I mean? He's the one. He's always been the one. You know what I mean? Just because he wasn't always clamoring for the limelight 24/7 at all times, having to prove it to everybody else. The people that were, tapped into the frequency, the people that were really tapped into that frequency, we knew, you know what I mean? And it was just a matter of time before he showed it to the rest of the world out there, the casuals. Casuals done caught up to what the cloth knew the whole time, you know what I mean? Kendrick is that one.
What the cloth knew, I like that, son. What the cloth knew the whole time.
That's tough.
Applaud that, man. Macito, this bit is coming for you. Yeah, I want to just read this part right here. A recent performance by Kendrick and SZA on their Grand National Tour in Seattle grossed $14.8 million, meaning Kendrick became the first rapper to ever break the $14 million mark for a single concert as the numbers guy at the Rap Roundtable. What does that mean to you, man?
Listen, what Kendrick is doing right now, before I get into, my bars, you know what I mean? I have to give him his credit. We got to give him his credit. $14 million for a single show. I don't know when's the last time I seen a bot tweet. I don't know when's the last time I seen a not sold out tweet. It's Kendrick is, along with everything what Sin said, he's kind of like putting all the narratives doubt to rest.
All the narratives are dead, bro.
You know what I mean? Like, this is a continuation of the run, right? Because is You know, ever since I say like when he really started coming outside, like maybe to pop out, it's been kind of like a slaughter session ever since. So come on, bro. Like at the end of the day, no matter where your allegiances lie, you kind of have to, you know, appreciate it. You know what I mean? I get it wasn't like that for Drake, but I'm gonna be the bigger guy. You know what I mean? You have to appreciate, you know, it's hip hop making 14 million every time you see in these records. First rapper to do this, first rapper to do that. You know, at the end of the day, no matter where it's coming from, I'm speaking to the Drake fans right now. No matter where it's coming from, you have to appreciate the limelight being shown on something you appreciate. You know what I mean? So yeah, you know what I mean? You might not like Clayton Clark, but you better appreciate that she got everybody watching the game right now.
You just made Caitlin Clark a transgendered person. Who's Clayton Clark?
I was like,
what's going on?
let my man cook.
Use the magic of
I'm gonna
Caitlin.
lay off that one.
I don't use the T word on the show, bro. I don't want to get canceled.
I didn't say nothing crazy. You know what I mean?
You kind of set it up to say something crazy because, like, anyway.
What you mean?
I'm just saying, like, we all jokes here. Like,
yeah, but don't follow up. You know what I mean? Don't follow up.
Don't throw the alley.
Don't throw the alley.
Don't throw the alley.
Make it hurt.
That alley.
Let it go right into the crowd.
Out of bounds.
I mean, Clayton
First, second,
Clark
third row.
is in transition. You know what I mean? And we not running the
Transition?
transition
my
passes. You know what I mean?
Don't even
Fast
ask me
breaks.
how.
I don't know what this guy's talking about, man. You know what I mean?
Oh my
Quarter
God.
3, all of that shit.
Hey,
You feel me?
Damn it.
Yo,
As
you gotta
you were.
relax,
I
man.
didn't say
But,
nothing crazy yet.
You know what I mean? Like so I feel like you have to have an appreciation no matter where your allegiances lie. Even for like, you know what I mean? Because it's not just the Drake fans hating. You know, you got the underground people who like, no, Kendrick is not really that nice. You know what I mean? He not fucking with,
we
you
gotta
know,
talk about that.
Tragedy, Gaddafi. You know what I'm saying?
Because I think I shared the video in the chat. I was like, this is for homework. That's gonna be a topic down the road.
You know what I mean? So, you know, I feel like all of hip hop should appreciate what Kendrick is doing. This is a fucking DMX moment. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is a 50 Cent moment. 15 years in your career. It's really unprecedented on a music level. So I appreciate that. I appreciate, you know, it being a classic album as well that he's doing this with. You know what I mean? So I'm sanctioning the classic.
He did say that.
I'm sanctioning the classic.
Yeah.
So I appreciate that too. This is going to be one of those you look back moments, Hard Knock Life tours, Up in Smoke tours. Like, this is like a moment in hip hop. You know what I mean? So I get you get into the battle shit, but just appreciate what the fuck is going on with it. You know what I'm saying? So I've been getting stomped on for forever, bro. Y'all see yesterday what they said to me. You know what I mean? I gotta be both these guys' fans. So y'all seen what they said about me yesterday, bro.
Damn.
So you know what I mean? Like,
you was getting jumped on the internet?
no, I'm talking about what, you know, when they see this, it'll be after the Wayne conversation. So you know what I mean? You know,
yeah.
I got dragged.
You're right.
Because the Tim's about to be on, bro.
Exactly. You know what I mean?
Stay safe, brother.
You know, I get it. You know, I'm supposed to be the guy who comes up here, and trust me, Sin might get me angry enough to get into the battle. But right now, bro, I'm just appreciating it, bro. This is a record-setting
shit. You don't want to
shit.
get hot right now, bro.
You know what I mean? This is record-setting shit. You know what I'm saying? So
I'm seeing
from, you know, when I don't think about, you know, fucking meet the grams, you know what I'm saying? Then yeah, I can appreciate it. You know what I'm saying? I gotta, you know, Drake already set all the fucking records. We had the records for 10 years. You know what I'm saying? So you shouldn't hate because the next guy broke the record,
there it
bro.
is.
You
There
feel
it
me?
is. There
you know,
it is.
LeBron could get his 4 rings. We still got 5, bro.
He mentioned the imaginary kid, and he had all the records at the end. You know
You
what I
know?
mean?
You
All
know?
right. I see the vision. Dini, this you don't need to regurgitate what they just said. For you, considering the chart dominance and what he's doing with this tour, the numbers are numbering. Even I know it's probably you got to adjust for inflation and all of that, but these are crazy numbers, right?
Yeah.
Are you willing to put your hater flag down now? Because you've been a hater, bro. You've been a Kenny hater for a minute.
have.
Are you gonna put the hater flag down now?
I mean, like,
has he done enough?
I mean, I went to the show, you know.
Can we look past the 5 years now?
I supported, you know. I listened to the music. You know, we've had countless discussions on how powerful this whole thing has been. I think it's just a shift, man. Right now, the shift to make like highfalutin, high quality music is back.
Yeah.
And he's exceptional at that, you know. So I think it's like shout out to Sin who used it as like kind of like a political type aspect. You know, I just feel like they were on one side too much, on one side of the fence, and now they see like it's a nice green horizon over here too. Now they're coming over to this side, and they're seeing that it's not just, because to me it's everything. It's the battle, it's the pop out, it's the Super Bowl, like the culmination of wins that just keep happening. You know, like they always say, like, stay away from unlucky people. You know what I'm saying? Like, then follow someone who has extreme luck or extreme like brilliance. And when I'm talking about like what's going on right now, we were at the show, bro. Me and Sin, like the energy, the pulsating, bro. You could feel the vibe in the place. Like you could cut this shit with a hot knife. Like I give respect where it's due. Like I said, I think now, you know, like bell bottoms was out for a while. Now niggas got the flares back on. I think right now people want to hear that quality. Like, but don't get me wrong, they still want to hear shit like "Baby Girl." You know, they just, I feel like right now,
not for as long.
Not for that long.
Yeah,
the meter has definitely tilted the other way. People want the more quality shit now. But shout out to Kendrick Lamar, man.
I gotta take.
Can't lose. It seems apparently like he can't lose, and the way that he's maintained his cool throughout this whole shit, he don't seem stressed. He seems super poised through it all. Like, I'm supposed to be here. And I think that part is super cool too.
I mean,
been waiting 10 years.
10 years, man. Opio Mase.
Yo, the timing, bro.
But
oh shit,
it's tricky. Like, I love what he's doing. I love that a guy in his position making the music that he makes is doing what rappers when we were growing up, that's what they did. It just became so heliocentric, to use a basketball term. It was all about Drake. We were running the Drake motion offense. He was calling the pick and roll and looking for his mismatch and calling Quavo over here and Young Thug over there and Future over there and 21 in the corner.
You know?
It was the Drake offense. It is what it is.
It was winning.
I get it. And I know the Kendrick fans, they get mad when we talk like that, but it's not even a matter of me trying to like glaze Drake. It's just waking up every day. And you put on the internet, you put on the radio.
You put on
yeah, you got
eyes work, your ears
put on,
turn it on.
Turn it on. You know what I
Turn the
mean?
dial on.
Got the
Internet.
my little, American Online. You know what I'm saying? And then you put on the radio. You go right. Once it's finished, I can go to YouTube comfortably. The videos. To every conversation revolved around Drake. So it's like this, and some of the songs that he was making, we just didn't want that shit. You know what I mean? Even Mase might love Drake, but there were songs that he just didn't want from Aubrey. You know what I mean? He liked Aubrey with the bars.
Delilah was not necessary.
Honestly, never mind review.
Right. It's all there. You know what I'm saying? So that being said, I'm glad that Kendrick is doing it, but at the same time, that complaint that niggas had, the bum ass rappers about like him like really fucking the game up. As much as they are bum ass rappers, I think he really fucked the game up in a good way. Cause like you think about it, a lot of niggas are trying to come outside and nothing is sticking.
Yeah.
Like where's rap gonna go? That's what I'm very curious. Cause go ahead, sir.
Nah, I had a take. Remember when I said I had a take for the next unpopular opinion segment?
Oh yes, we got to get back to that.
Yeah.
You think it's safe for us to get back to our unpopular? Because Mase
shit
is still in the clip.
It's true.
It was a little unsafe outside for a little bit.
Oh,
but
the heat couldn't take the heat.
I think they coming
Well,
back
he
around.
didn't learn the mute button. You just turn it off. He wanted to read the slavery.
a lot of hatred, you know. Like,
Don't read it.
Shout out to y'all.
That's how people have problems and they become. You read the shit. You're supposed to just mute it.
They said I'm stupid. What you gonna do?
Same niggas that call us super came back liking the next post. You know what I mean? That's why when niggas are saying, "Oh, y'all got canceled, we gonna go viral again," and we did the next day. Like, what the fuck is gonna happen?
Oh man,
you want to save it though, or you want to?
I might let it loose right now since we're here.
All right, we here. We in it.
Unpopular, you say?
Cook.
Okay.
As much as I love Kendrick, remember?
Shit.
No. Remember your take that you had about the 90s era?
Sick
Yes.
of the dark
All right,
side, man.
similar to that.
Okay.
As much as I love Kendrick and everything that he's doing, it might be the worst thing that have happened to LA rap.
LA rap.
Cali rap.
Expound.
Might be the worst thing.
How so? They feel
Who's
like
gonna follow up? Who's gonna follow suit? Who's on deck?
Yikes.
It's not Rayvon?
Who's on deck?
Time will
It's
tell.
not AZ Chike?
Time will tell.
Who's on deck? Who's on the horizon right now? That's not.
Is it J-Rock on deck?
Listen, I'm talking about new blood.
Oh.
I'm talking about new blood. TDE's already solidified. 100%
Sin
sanctioned.
is not a fan
Doechii
of
not
Vaughn
from
and
LA?
Wick, I guess.
Doechie's from Florida. She's waving the TDE flag, but she's from Florida.
Oh, Sin about to
Oh,
piss the
shit.
West off, man. God damn, we just got back cool with them.
Nah, I'm sorry. All respect due to, you know what I mean?
Chat.
Salute.
Who do y'all think is next to
Everybody
take up
out
the West
there,
Coast mantle?
Yeah.
Sin
We
is
gonna put up a
doubting.
poll. That's what we gonna do. Who's next?
Who's next?
Who's on deck?
I know
out
there's
there?
gonna be a lot of
Tyler.
Ray Vaughn in the
Gonna be a lot
chat.
of Tyler.
Tyler already sanctioned.
You know.
Our chat loves Ray
Blue
Vaughn.
blood.
I think AZ Chike he's made all the right moves post collaboration. He's in the algorithm. I'll say that.
Chike.
Ray Vaughn's in the algorithm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
New
but
blood is tough.
Because here's my thing. Like after all that talk about
Shouts to Joey B.
the West is on the run.
New York rappers and nobody got no motion over here, and like y'all got to look towards Joey Badass. Like y'all lucky y'all have Kendrick right now. If it wasn't Kendrick, who would it be?
Doesn't Kendrick live in a Brooklyn apartment?
Yo,
Nah, we went somewhere else now.
Shit.
I mean,
But it's my fault.
Asking.
the popular niggas are usually bi-coastal. You know, there's
Yeah.
mad New York niggas
They
who
all
live
over
in
the
Los
show.
Angeles. You know
Sin
what I'm
is
saying?
in LA all the time, so
Yeah,
you're right.
man.
Actually,
Don't
LA
wear,
you know what I mean?
don't wear the wrong hat now. Bro.
Nah,
Don't even wear this
word.
hat in LA.
No,
You know
no
what I mean?
hats.
They gonna
Going
know.
just right like
You're gonna have
just
to
like this.
tap in with Papa was here. He said you safe.
Glasses. What's the vibes? Glasses. Let us
Nah,
know.
but I see what he's saying, but I don't agree. I'll put it on wax only because I feel like they got a couple of guys who are, they not Kendrick. It's gonna be hard to be a Kendrick, but they got a couple guys that's, you know what I mean. But the real issue coming out of LA, like Sincere being problematic, but they got bigger problems right inside of their home. You know what I mean?
What?
Nigga, Game said on the all-time Los Angeles or California West Coast rapper list that Snoop Dogg is better and higher all-time than Kendrick Lamar.
All right.
They need a balance because we know we want to hear a surprise opinion. We know what Sin gonna say. What do you think about
You
Game?
don't know what I'm gonna say.
Yeah, we do.
Look,
Game.
I picked Snoop over DMX in the verses.
Kendrick
you know,
ain't DMX,
you don't know.
man.
You don't know.
I never heard you vouch for DMX like
That-
you vouched for
ever
Kenny. Though.
in
Like
life.
Kenny.
For Mr.
After
Morale,
Kenny.
you know what I'm
Just
saying? Like, I don't remember
let's
that.
keep some type of, you know what I mean?
That's why I'm going to
Some drama.
Dini first.
Okay.
He's gonna
Like,
provide the
I
drama.
need-
You know what I mean?
I need a clearer definition of what better is though. That's the thing that because I feel like
On the all-time West Coast rapper
Yeah.
list, he has
However we talk about best.
Not too much balance.
all right,
he
all right.
has
'cause no-
Tupac, Cube, and Snoop above Kendrick all
All right.
time.
I think he had Snoop too, though, right?
So
I don't know the exact number. I'm gonna pull up the article in a second.
So like I think when he says that he's coming from the old school perspective, kind of like how we are, the way we treat Jay, Nas, you know what I'm saying, Big Pac, where they haven't put out music for a while or whatever, we still hold them in that high. I just feel like what Snoop has done for like the LA, Cali in general, the West Coast, like it's like unprecedented. Like we wouldn't know a lot of shit about the West Coast without Snoop. He's the glue to so much shit. If you're not from the West Coast, outside of the West Coast, and if you're in the West, he's Uncle Snoop. You get what I'm saying? Like Doggy Style is a vital component to hip hop, bro. Like what would hip hop look like if Doggy Style did not exist? You know what I'm saying? In terms like
I
think-
think Chronic credit too.
facts, but I think that's what he means. He's not saying best as far as like when we compare lyrics for lyrics, who's the best?
How you
When
know
we-
that?
He's not, bro. When we compare line for line, he's the best. We compare like, I mean, Kendrick has so many albums now. Does he have a? Do you think Good Kid, Mad City's better than Doggy Style's an album? So then you on the same type of time. Maybe that's what he means by best as far as the album impact.
Say that again.
He don't think like he said he don't think that Good Kid, Mad City is better than Doggy Style. So I'm like that could be what Game's talking about. Like it's
West Coast, what y'all think?
Yo.
Good Kid or Doggy Style?
I
Doggy
mean,
Style's
Doggy
top
Style,
five, bro.
Doggy
I'm
Style
sorry.
changed the game, bro. It took you if you were not in LA, it took you like on a deep dive front row to what LA looks like from the eyes of Snoop, bro. Like watching them videos, introducing all that shit. Like I remember that. You know what I'm saying? I remember all that energy. I'm not saying that Kendrick don't have that. I'm saying if we look at it right, I think he means it more like this, and I end it like this. Like, and this sounds so bad, but if there was a funeral right now, a Kendrick funeral and a Snoop, I just feel like the Snoop funeral would just look so different, bro. Like,
Dini, is Snoop Dogg higher all time than Kendrick Lamar?
I'm gonna say,
You know what? You're right.
I'm dying with this shit, bro.
Fuck, man.
Fuck
That
it.
drop.
Being,
I haven't used that in a
don't
while.
hit me with
you
the
know what
Al
I mean?
Pacino.
I can't even
Don't
find
even
that.
hit
shit.
me with it.
No, you
No.
can't hit with it.
Hey, man, listen.
I don't have it on here.
All
You
right,
lucky.
good. Why can't you give me a straight answer? That's what you're looking for.
Yes.
Now,
Wait, what happened to it?
I might not have added it to this one.
Damn.
maybe if you asked me this before Kendrick did what he did the last couple years, I would say.
Oh, I got it.
Now, can't you give me a straight answer anymore?
Fuck, man. If it was he higher all time or not?
For what he did with this year, I would
He's
say
still
so.
not
I said yes. For what he did this year, I'm not saying because it's not something that's been around. If you asked me this like a bunch of years ago, I would have told you absolutely not. Snoop is just culture, bro. You get what I'm saying? I think when he says better, he's not just talking about rapping. He's talking about like the essence, nigga, the culture. Snoop is the West Coast.
That Kendrick Lamar
answer the
is
question.
higher all time than Snoop?
Today, yes. I do.
Okay.
Oh,
Masito,
man.
your
Jesus.
thoughts?
Salute, Dave. Salute.
Yo.
Kendrick is higher. Kendrick is higher. Let's get right to that. Let's get to it. Kendrick is higher, and I don't think there's very much debate. To be honest with you, I feel like the reverence of Snoop as a top 10 MC is specifically a West Coast argument. So it is very interesting hearing a person like Game make this type of conversation because, you know, those are the guys, you know what I mean? Like, you know how no disrespect, but you know how if you're going to see Prodigy in the top 10, it's probably a New Yorker giving you that list. You know what I mean? Snoop is very much the same way for me.
Oh, that's
from the West Coast. You know what I'm saying?
Snoop is worldwide.
Snoop is worldwide. Snoop is worldwide,
bro.
But I think
wait, I'm stuck. You just liking Snoop to Pete?
Yeah, Snoop. You know,
like status wise.
As far as you ever seen,
you gotta clear that one up.
You ever? I think that. I mean, what do we when we say status wise? I guess Snoop is the bigger artist.
Snoop is more likely to be on any top 10 list
for sure,
bro. That's why I'm like, you gotta be careful with that one.
For sure, you know. But and y'all could, you know, if I'm mistaken, y'all can tell me. You don't often see Snoop on a top 10 list. I love Snoop. Reverence of Doggy Style. Pause. You know what I mean? Diddy news coming soon. You know, talking about, you know, the conversation we had not too long ago. Who's the most famous guy? Who's, you know what I mean? Snoop, you know, and another interesting thing is, you know, with the culture conversation that we've had over the past year or so, Snoop is literally culture. You know what I'm saying? If there's anybody who's as cultured as can be, it's Snoop. You know what I'm saying? But when we talking about best rapper list, you know what I mean? Best MC list, Snoop tends to get left out from what I see more than a Cube, more than a Kendrick, more than a Pac, who wasn't on this list. But they usually, when it comes to that, Snoop is left out more often than not. You know what I mean? The West Coast definitely reps for him. That's the point I was making. The West Coast definitely don't leave him out of that conversation, you know, more often than not. But so that's what I'm saying. It's interesting. Like, this is a conversation I'm genuinely interested in because Game is, you know, can really attest to Snoop's impact. You know what I mean? On the ground level, you know, Game is you know, not super old, but he was old enough to get that death row in real time feel. You know what I mean? So he's probably looking at it like a lot of you. I love the 90s ass niggas. Like, how can a new nigga be better than the nigga who was nice in the 90s? You know what I'm saying?
Problematic this whole episode. I'm
seeing
the vision.
I'm trying my best.
He's cooking now.
I'm trying my best.
The vision.
So it's very much aligned in that thinking. And with a Snoop Dogg, you don't usually see that thinking. That's usually like an East Coast thought, right? You know what I mean? Niggas from the 90s was better than everybody now. But, you know, clearly the OGs, the older guys from the West feel the same way. You know, and we had this conversation before. What else can Kendrick really do? Right? He's had the massive year, you know what I mean? So now you got 93 Snoop year. Now you can say, okay, let's throw 24 Kendrick along 93 Snoop. You got just like you said, as soon as Doggy Style was mentioned, Good Kid, Mad City was mentioned. You know what I mean? He has the uber classic that, you know, even the biggest hater will say, well, yeah, that's the one. You know what I mean? So he's kind of every box that Snoop is checked, he's kind of, you know, checked as well. You know what I mean? While being a more revered MC for his artistry, while having a longer run as far as discography goes. You know what I mean? Like, there's just things that Kendrick has reached that Snoop never did. Being the great that he is, having the impact that he had, I just don't think, you know what I mean? Like, if you think about Snoop, Doggy Style is 93. By 98, was Snoop looked at as top 5 in the game? I don't know. We're 15 years into Kendrick's career. You know what I mean? So we have to, you know, I know as a older person looking at an artist that came out after you were grown or artist that's younger than you, it's sometimes hard to place them in that tier. But, you know, Kendrick is as clear of a case of a, you know, modern MC that belongs in that conversation than anybody. So I got to give it to Kendrick once again.
As you are, Sam.
I don't know what I'm about to say.
Yeah, do your thing, man.
Yeah. What Mase was just saying right now, you know what I mean? Like as an older statesman, as somebody that's seen more years in this game, it might be difficult to put a relatively newer artist like Kendrick over an OG like Snoop. But not for me. It is very clearly Kendrick. 100%. Like it's not even a contest to me, honestly. Like the only real because Mase surmised it impeccably. Yeah. So I don't have too many notes to add to that. But the only thing that might be, or I'll put it this way. The only thing that's a conversation where it would go in Snoop's favor is guest spots and appearances. You know what I mean? Snoop came in the game and made his name off of classic guest verses because he was Dre's, you know, sideman. You know what I mean? Pause of Apple. I don't know how that
definitely. I was like, yo.
You know what I mean? He was the Pippin to Dre's Jordan. You know what I mean? And so like, and Dre set him up perfectly for him to shine. But like once he left under Dre's wing, what happened next? The Dog Father. Damn. The game is to be sold, not to be told.
Like
the voice.
No Limit, Top Dog.
That Eastside album.
The Rhythm and Gangsta joint was fire.
The
that
Last Meal.
Album. Don't skip over that Eastside album. That's a classic.
Rhythm and Gangsta. Man.
It's probably a group.
I'm skipping
albums.
over it. The Last Meal. I mean, I could go on and on. Snoop had singles. I'll give him that.
Countless.
Yes, singles. But as far as like longevity, and this is gonna sound crazy because like we're longevity in terms of like musical output. Mm-hmm. Kendrick has been consistent except for shouts to Diddy, the 5 years that he, you know, was in a cave somewhere. Outside of that, consistently, like he's put out nothing but top tier, high quality music, high quality, highfalutin raps. Shouts to Jar for the highfalutin. Stayed making an impact. He's had the hits. He's had the cultural classics. He's had the mainstream classics. We could say Damn and GNX are mainstream classics. We could say Good Kid, Mad City, and To Pimp a Butterfly, cultural classics. And even Good Kid, Mad City could be a mainstream classic as well. Like the longevity in the game in terms of like just putting out quality music and making impactful music. You know, Kendrick has at least 3 classics to Snoop's 1. Kendrick has quite possibly the biggest battle win of all time in the game. Snoop, I can't even remember really Snoop really getting into any battles unless you count him inheriting Dre's beef with Eazy-E.
Right.
But outside of that, you know what I mean? He battled? He didn't really battle nobody. In terms of singles, Snoop had crazy singles. Obviously, we know that.
Legendary.
But Kendrick is right there with the singles. Really, the only thing that Snoop really has to his name is the guest appearances. So when it's all said and done, Kendrick Lamar is a clear winner in this comparison.
I mean, I see what you guys are saying. I think when it comes to Snoop is still, in my opinion, a bigger star worldwide than Kendrick Lamar. He's a household name. There's even an argument to be made that he's a bigger star than some of the GOATs that we love, the Nas's, the Jay-Z's of the world. Like because he puts himself out there a lot more as far as
he sells Skechers,
right? You know what I mean? Like when it comes to the endorsements, it ain't shit.
Yeah.
Those Corona commercials, which is fire. You know what I mean? Snoop Snoop is a household name. The gangster Crip that we were introduced to 30 plus years ago does not exist. Maybe he's still a gangster Crip, but as far as what his on-camera persona is what I'm talking about, he's so far removed from that. He's almost a mascot, and I see that with a tantamount of respect because you can put Snoop face on anything. They put Snoop in the fucking Olympics, it's gonna go. You know what I mean?
Right.
You put Snoop face in it, it's gonna go. That being said, I'm surprised that nobody on this panel has said the thing. Masito was treading there, but he didn't go all the way. You know what I mean? I'm gonna go all the way. Me personally, I am tired of the Revere to the 90s and the late 80s. I'm sick of it.
Here you go again.
I'm sick of it.
Here you go again.
Unpopular opinion.
No, it's not even an unpopular opinion. It's more so about giving respect where it's due. At this point in the game, put no disrespect game, putting Kenny at 4 and then Pac, Cube, and Snoop above him all time, I personally think that's crazy now. Maybe 5 years ago, 7 years ago, whenever, because it's about 7 years ago when he first took that gap. 2018, he was kind of on his, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. He had dropped Damn, we did the Black Panther soundtrack, excuse me. You could have put him 4, and I would have been all right with that. But now, all right, let's put our cards on the table. You know what I mean? Everybody show all our spades right now. Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers did happen. But it ain't like it was like a flop. The album, it still has joints on it that's going to stand the test of time. Yeah. You put on that joint produced by Alchemist right now, it's going to do something to you. N95 is right there. The joint with Kodak Black is right there. You know what I mean? Like, he got it. Like, he's, even his, quote, dud albums still deliver. You know what I mean? Yeah. Now you have a G&X. Ultra massive. Who does that 5-6 albums in doing this, what he's doing right now? That's the real conversation here. How many guys 5-6 albums in are doing this? Usually by 5 or 6, you're on the decline. Yeah. He's on the incline right now. At this point, GNX is such a strong release that it's already anticipation for what's next, album-wise. That there's gonna be pressure on the next album. It's almost like a sophomore album all over again.
I can only think of Jay-Z.
You know what I'm saying? And not even. Hov don't have that. Hov had Volume 2. What's out there that Volume 2?
His first number 1 was Blueprint 3.
No,
so
for
I
sure.
give him that
what I'm
credit,
saying is, as far as like numbers, being in the conversation of like being a wave, he was a tycoon in '98. As much as we talk about DMX deserves all the adulation. Yeah. Jay-Z was right there. You know what I mean? Yeah. As far as being in that type of conversation, he don't got another album outside of maybe Blueprint 3 that can have that conversation. You know what I'm saying? And even still, Blueprint 3 still pales in comparison to Volume 2. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? To be this being his most commercially viable project at 6 albums in, what are we talking about? At this point, we got to start getting comfortable saying that they are, in fact, a couple of these new niggas that's not from the 90s that are superseding and exceeding some of the legends. He is in front of Snoop Dogg. He's in front of Ice Cube. He might be in front of Pac. I'll stop at Pac. That's what Pac is the only nigga that I'm not willing to place Kendrick above yet.
Hold up.
And even then, it's not even like a right. And even then, it's not even like 100%. Like I'm like 65, 35% with that. You know what I mean? Because Kendrick is probably one more album away from being above Pac, and especially if it's a classic.
But according to Complex, Pac's not an LA rapper, so that's
what Complex talking about, man. Complex.
They go ahead, y'all. Go ahead.
Complex is in the click business, so they're gonna say whatever it takes to create conversation. Yeah. There's no earnestness in these lists anymore. It's all we know the niggas making real lists out here.
You're right.
And they have the guts to say what Job just said. They did not want to have the Kendrick Tupac conversation, so that's why they just say, you know what, Pac's not an LA rapper. They didn't want to decide. That's to me what they did.
I mean, we know what Cube did, but it's like, all right, if you want to hold up what Cube did in the late 80s and early 90s, let's talk about all the other shit he did with rap before he became a full-time Hollywood nigga. He had a lot of whack albums, nigga. In the 90s, tell me if I'm lying.
He did.
Tell me if I'm lying. I'm not even trying to be funny.
It's those two joints people hold in their head, though.
Because they undisputed.
It's 3 of them. They got certificate. And America's Most Wanted.
He was at one point the best rapper in the world. Yeah. But when it comes to all-time lists, you got to balance it out with the duds. You know what I mean? And outside of what he was doing with West Side Connection, where you can argue that Mac 10 was the better rapper during the West Side Connection era, Tell me when I'm telling lies.
You're not capping, but it just feels weird to say it though.
Tell me when I'm telling lies.
No cap.
You know what I mean? When I look at the situation, it's like we have to start getting comfortable. We love the 90s. We know the 90s, like even though rap kind of took off, not started. Listen, use your ears, guys. Took off in the 80s. We know the 90s is kind of the benchmark for the best niggas. We understand that. But some of these 2000s niggas belong in that conversation. Kendrick is one of the few that belong in that conversation. And if you look at his discography, and Sin talked about it, the singles, and now that he's found a way to take it to another level with a world tour where you setting all kind of all-time record gates, $14 million in Seattle, not New York, not the tri-state because it's New Jersey. Not SoFi, Seattle, almost $15 million in Seattle. What the fuck are we talking about?
It's crazy.
We got to put this nigga at least 2. Game put himself 5 and put Kenny 4. What do we? You are not one slot away from Kendrick Lamar, my nigga. What are we talking about?
Can't tell Game nothing.
And no disrespect to Game, but nothing about your resume says that you belong right next to Kenny. He didn't have Kenny ain't conjure up no beefs. He ain't well. The documentary is the only one.
Now, there was
I'm talking about when you start talking about all time and we get into the statistical arguments.
There's people that say he has 2 or 3 classics.
You got me defending Kendrick. This fucking guy. You know what I mean? So what he just did there, y'all missed that.
I didn't. What happened?
He made me the Kendrick guy. You know what I mean? But it's just like he number 2 at least. And if he follows up GNX with another certified classic or even just an 8 out of 10 with like 2 banger singles, I'm putting him above Pac.
That's just gonna be hard for a lot of people for what Pac did.
But the resume gotta start counting, bro. Yeah. It's not about Pac anymore. Kendrick, if he's 7, because he has 6 albums now, Sam? Official releases. Yeah. If we have 7 albums and you got Good Kid as a classic, right?
Damn.
You say what you want about Typical Butterfly. Some niggas think it's a classic. It's an argument. It's not an argument of whack or good. It's classic or not classic. Damn is a classic. No?
Yeah, Damn's a classic. No question.
We got motherfucking
GNX.
we got
there's something before that.
Even Sin trying to skip
Mr. Morale. Mr. Morale is still a good album. It's not whack. It's not a class. It's not Kendrick Lamar level. But it's still a good album.
Yeah.
GNX. Right? Classic.
Good album.
Then you got Section 80. Depending on who you ask. Classic.
Great rap album.
Untitled.
And the Black Panther soundtrack.
The Black Panther soundtrack. There's, at the very least, you could say there is not a miss in his discography with 3 classics.
And even the miss did well, so it's, yeah.
So if he drop another album that's a near classic or just good, why is he not number 1? No troll. We not niggas with microphones trying to get clicks. We just talking about resume now.
I'm quiet because this is the shit that I've been saying.
Yeah, like rap wise, like
I'm waiting for
rapping wise.
We gotta come.
I'm the allow niggas to agree with me.
I'm the pop guy, rap wise, y'all absolutely right. But like I said, I think for them it's more than just rap, bro. It's like it's what a nigga did for the coast. I feel like what Pac did, what Snoop did for the coast. Like even if Kendrick Lamar goes quadruple, quintuple platinum, it just that feeling of when that first happened, bro. Like that.
No, you're right, but that's why GNX is important because GNX is the galvanization of the West.
I feel like in years to come, people will see GNX and what Kendrick's doing the way we looked at with Snoop when Snoop kicked in the door. Yeah, they got no love for us, you know what I'm saying? Like when he did all the shit that like kicked in the door to be like, yo, like nah, the West Coast is different.
But that's why the next album is very important.
Real quick, counter that because Snoop, he came through. He burst on the doors with Dre. I mean, put on for the coast.
Mm-hmm.
But then he left Death Row and went where?
Master P. Yeah, No Limit.
Where they at?
Selling sneakers.
No, I'm just saying, like location. I mean, that's but like,
Louisiana.
He deserted the West and went and signed.
Deserted the West is crazy.
I'm just saying.
He ain't desert the West. He just
went for a lucrative deal.
Don't do that.
Got a better deal.
You wildin'. What was the other West Coast label?
If Sin narrate the story, he looking devilish, bro.
Yo,
Yeah,
what in the Fox News is happening over here?
Suge was trying to kill this
he-
man.
he
Sid.
enough clout.
He did
Crawled
his
down
goons,
south.
bro.
Boys, come
He
on,
eventually
Sin.
did.
All right, eventually he could have
Wow,
done it
nigga
then.
said he deserted
Why
He withered himself to
jumped
the south.
on the Louisiana bandwagon?
Crazy.
Why he jumped on the Louisiana
It was a hot
bandwagon?
label.
Yeah.
They paid
It was
him.
a hot, yeah.
They was doing
Exactly.
their things.
What was you, New
I
York
ain't with
wasn't
it.
gonna sign Snoop at that
Wow,
time.
that's
He was gonna go to Def
funny.
Jam at that
Master
time.
P had the most bread and the
Come
most
on.
goons.
He abandoned
Did he make a
the
New
coast.
Orleans sounding album? No, he didn't. He made a West Coast album.
Suge was
for the
on his
New Orleans
top,
label.
bro.
Yo,
You a foul nigga.
That's
bro.
fucked up.
that's
That's
crazy.
fucked up.
Ah, Sid. Anyway, Chad, let us know what you think.
Snoop goes where the bag is at. That's all I'm saying.
When did this turn into a Snoop slander session?
Damn.
Nah, now
That's
like,
the
yo.
beat. You know what I mean?
If Kendrick's
Shouts to
involved,
Uncle Snoop, man.
When it
Shouts
comes to
Uncle
Kendrick,
Snoop.
Sid don't play. You see it, right? Don't ever question him. That's why the Nas fans be mad at this nigga, because he don't do this for Nas.
He don't do that with
wicked,
Nas.
bro. Yo,
In not,
I've been doing this my whole life.
My whole life. Pre-pod. Y'all don't know my life before the pod, man.
yo,
Y'all have no
shit.
idea.
now we don't know the nigga
pod.
life before the pod.
Nah. This is the microphone with
Sid,
I
I
ain't
ain't
gonna
not
front.
those of a podcast.
Yo,
We
nah,
actually
bro.
did know you
Yeah,
before the
pod,
fucking
nigga. What
pod.
you
Facts.
talking about, nigga?
We ain't just make a pod up and just have to be friends, nigga. Don't use this 08,
Nigga
nigga.
think we a Diddy dance
Don't
group
get
or
me
something.
wrong.
Like,
Don't get me wrong.
So don't
just
talk
put
like
us
that.
together,
Like,
bro.
I don't-
No, what I'm
I don't
saying
come to
is,
Nas' defense like
what
that.
I'm saying is, on the air, you don't do this for Nas.
I have.
A t-shirt ain't enough, son.
About 5. I have like.
We
Nigga
did.
said-
all-
nigga
we
said 30 years of
Five
fame
notches.
ain't enough,
What do you want me
right?
to do?
I ain't
I'm
gonna
gonna
front.
wear all 5 one day.
We did have arguments where we almost got written up at work. Arguing about
This is
Jay-Z
a
and
fact.
Nas. That
This
did
is a
happen.
fact.
That did happen.
Wild times.
You know what I mean? It took me years to tell Sin in confidence that Hov lost. I admit that. But when the cameras is on, this nigga don't be defending Nas how he defend Kenny.
That man just said
There-
Snoop
there's a little
abandoned the
difference.
West Coast, bro.
There's a visceral difference.
He said Snoop abandoned the West Coast.
Deserted. That was the word. Was it deserted?
Deserted, bro.
That's even worse than abandoning.
That's crazy.
You for dead. You can make your way out of abandon, bro. Deserted
Oh,
is dead.
Nigga said they went to Snoop crib and had a for sale sign up. He wasn't there. Yo.
Nobody else in the West he could have signed anyone with no
else?
limit.
Who?
The home of Silk the Shocker.
Who out west had a label, bro?
The home of
man.
Mystical. C Murder. Mystical.
Yo,
That's
Mia X.
Mia X.
Oh,
All right.
man.
I'm not going to send the Mia X too much,
I'm
man.
dead, bro.
I love
That was good. That was good.
Out of line.
Deserted the West.
Deserted.
Crazy.
Yeah,
No one has
Sin
ever
ain't
said
got
that
no
before
love for
tonight,
Snoop.
bro. Niggas celebrated Snoop for years for going to No Limit. Meanwhile, Sin was over here like the nigga in Belly with the beer bottle and shit. All right, Snoop. I see you, nigga.
Angry.
Do you see how much Sin loves LA, bro? He
Yo.
said Snoop abandoned him, bro.
That's
No,
crazy.
there's an X factor here.
He said I went out there, I ain't seen
No,
nigga.
Nigga heard
no.
Snoop say hootie hoo one time. That was it.
Nah, but you're not seeing the X factor here.
All right, do your thing, bro.
Is my hate for No Limit.
Oh.
I can't say No Limit. I've never won like when
Man.
Sin
to the-
wasn't
to the
saying,
point- to the point when Cash
Nah,
Money
apparently
came
not.
when Cash Money came through, I was like, oh, thank God for Cash Money because I can't stand these No Limit motherfuckers.
You not a fan of camouflage tanks?
You don't like the camouflage tank?
Nah.
And the basketball
Make him
games?
say,
The Makeup Saying video was fire, bro. They had this playing best slow motion hoops.
oh my God.
You like
man.
slow
I
motion
remember-
hoops?
What year was
Master
that?
P
Miss-
came
Miss-
from the
Miss-
rap.
Dipset.
Mystical was a star for a
98.
second.
That Bout It was fire.
Bout It,
God,
bout it. Shout
I
out
could
Dipset
not-
with their
I
version.
could
You don't
not
like Lil
turn on the
Romeo?
radio without make him say playing.
You know
Yo,
what?
it was
playing?
everywhere, bro.
15
Where the
minutes.
gangsters been 50 for Lennox, bro.
And then
Where
they try to
do
put,
their own
they try to
thing.
push Silk the Shocker on us, man.
With 2Ks.
They his family, bro. It's a little nepotism.
They tried to push Silk the Shocker on us and try to
Silk
tell
with
us
2K.
That joint with
he's a
Maya was
good-
fire,
Yo,
though, bro.
she
He's a
was
good
looking
artist
fire
and a
in that
good
video.
rapper, bro.
I'm moving on. Was it fire?
Yo,
And move
Fuck
my
out
way.
of here, man.
come on.
That was a good
Tell us
song.
we don't like the
It was
South.
catchy.
Sin don't like
we
love,
jumped the
bro.
sin for No
Fuck
Limits.
And it
outta
was,
here,
and it was
man.
everywhere for a little while too.
Listen, man. Give me Juvie. Give me the Hot Boys.
Hot Boys not, but
Fire.
Cash Money came outside.
Fire.
That was a new
That was
crack.
a different
I ain't
story,
gonna lie.
man. It was
Cash
a different
Money
story.
Millionaires.
When I heard the Hot Boy record, I'm like, oh, this is different. The sound,
Project Chick.
Chick.
So many good.
One of my
records.
favorite Wayne songs was "The Block Is Hot." Yo, shout out Manny Fresh,
Yeah.
man.
Underrated.
My block hot, Woody, my block burn. That shit was fire. Yeah, I be saying we don't like the South, but we could put a whole Southern playlist together that'll blow Southern niggas shit out the water.
I
quite
was
frankly.
listening to an OJ the Juice Man mix
OJ
the other day,
the
so niggas
Juice
can't say
Man.
shit to me, bro.
Quarter brick.
Half a brick.
Staying with the game. Now that we're back on schedule, you know?
Yeah.
Shout out to the Joe Budden podcast for this conversation. I'm curious to hear what my guys got to say. Better rapper all time. Forget the resume. We just talking about ability to rap. Game or Jadakiss? Masito, coming to you first.
Shit.
Yep.
Jadakiss.
Kiss?
Begrudgingly.
Let's talk about it. Expound, sir.
Jadakiss.
Why begrudgingly?
Game
He
is
loves
nice
Game. You
as
ain't know
a
that?
motherfucker. Yeah, I'm a fan of Game.
I thought I
That's
was only one.
I thought so
Table.
too.
that's my generation, bro. Like, you know what I mean? I'm a G-Unit stan. So
He just
like,
don't say shit when niggas kick his back in, but he love Game, bro.
you know what I'm saying? So like, I gotta, it's tough because Game is one bar heavy rapper. Just like Kiss, Game, which a lot of people have been making the conversation that Game has an incredible discography. I feel like of this 2000s era MC, maybe not 2010s, but 2000s era MCs, Ross and Game got that underrated discography. I don't think either of them have ever put out a whack album. So people got that. Game has moments. Game had, a super battle moment. The West Coast niggas be crashing out, bro. The 300 bars. So I love Game. You know what I mean? I gotta give him that credit. You know what I mean? But this is Jadakiss, JDA, top 5 that are alive. And in a world post versus where we've seen what an MC is, a move the crowd, a legend, somebody who does this at the highest level, it's hard for me to put the Game over Jada. You know what I mean? And maybe that's my New York bias 4th season. We here. It might be, you know what I mean? But to me, this is I don't want to say evenly matched, but it's close. You know what I mean? I seen Joe Budden having a conversation about, one's top 25, one's top 35. I ain't never done the list like that, but it is that close for me where they are in the same tier of MC. But I got to give Jada the credit. I feel like in a battle, Jada will win. I feel like in a versus, although Game has the better album discography, we had the conversation not too long ago. I don't necessarily look at that as your catalog. I think if Jada played 25 joints and Game played 25 joints, even though you love track 9 on album 6, you know what I mean? It's not going to hit like the joints that Jada would do. So if I just, the sliders, voice Jada got, what's the most annoying thing about either of them? I guess Game is the name drop MC. Jada just, is not a classic album artist maker. So it's tough for me. It's tough. And I was coming in here like, should I just say Game is better just to shake the table a little bit? But I'm not, you know what I mean? I have a dignity, unlike a lot of these podcasts.
Take that shirt back, bro.
You know what I mean? A lot of these podcasters will lie for the hell of it.
Well,
but
we know podcasters are shameless.
Shameless folk. You know
Yeah,
what I
man.
mean?
They'll hit the dislike button on our video, watch it, and then steal bars worth to send. You know what I mean?
Shouts
All
to New
day.
Delhi.
And buy views too.
You know what I mean?
And subscribers,
Different.
bitch ass
Yo,
nigga.
man, they think they the 520 podcast. and
Niggas
shit.
say they from New
Sticky
York,
Jeff
but they-
Teague, bro.
Facts. They from Ohio, but they bio say New York.
Let me
You know what I
this
mean?
with
Bitch ass niggas. Fuck y'all niggas,
I
man.
see that corny
Weird
shit, man.
Niggas, conductor, but it sounded like, nigga, just say you heard Sin on the rap round table say conductor's beats do a little something that he not
Wobbly.
familiar with, and you heard it from Sin, you thought it was a good idea,
You know?
bitch nigga.
You know?
bar.
Please.
Cause you a bitch.
Them new cameras don't save trash content. You heard?
He set the camera up like Curtis King, trying to be the rap round table, stealing bars. He tried to be every podcast in this space. Found out that niggas like old school music videos, and all of a sudden it was cloth. But if you listen to if you listen to the old pods, it was never on no cloth shit. They was just trying to get clicks,
That's it.
and they still can't do that. You know what I mean, bitch niggas. I'm sorry, we went off on a tangent. I'm
Just
sorry.
give me the writer credit. You know what I mean?
That's it.
At least, right?
And
Because Sin don't be
No.
saying, it be me that be calling you a bitch. Sin don't call you a bitch.
Little footnote.
I don't call you. I think it though. Shouts to the salmon hats too.
Niggas bought
but-
22,000 subs and still got the same 8 niggas in their live, bro. That shit crazy.
8, right? Kobe Bean, rest in peace.
That shit crazy.
But it's a much more difficult conversation.
Yo.
We see you, bitch ass nigga.
Yeah.
We kind of the only ones.
We
who
seen
see you,
that
bitch
music
ass nigga.
video by the train tracks too. That shit was trash. That nigga tried to rap. Hey, I'm sorry.
Yo, try.
We digress. We
Y'all about
digress.
that.
Those is trash raps. Those is trash raps. Okay.
Nah,
But-
they should be happy we talking shit because that means that we've at least seen something. You know what I
Rap
mean?
round table. There's 4 of us. We're half of your viewership. But you know, it's a much closer conversation than the aforementioned "I love the '90s" ass niggas would like to have, because Game has been putting in work for a long time. But Jada, man, Jada is Jada, bro. You know what I mean? So I can't put Game over Jadakiss. Shout to Whack 100. You know what I mean? Got us talking about your nonsense. I can't do it. I can't do it.
Do you need to balance? Your thoughts, good brother. Damn.
You know where we going, man. Kiss.
It's New York bias season for real.
Nah, it's not New York bias, man. It's 30 years of top tier lyricism, bro. Rapping alongside the likes of Big. You know what I'm saying? Holding his own with
He's
the
been
likes
next to
of
everyone when you think
Big,
about it.
bro.
Everyone, bro.
Everybody that's worth having a feature with, except for maybe Pac, Jada
Shit.
has had the fucking feature. You know what I'm saying?
Which is understandable.
Has held his own. Whether you go, quotables. Oh my God. As far as like quotable, Jada might have as many quotable bars where you know the lyrics as much as you know your favorite artist. Like, everybody has that one favorite artist. Like, I feel like you may know as many Jadakiss verses as you know Nas verses, bro. Like, and that's not even an exaggeration. Jada has so many quotable bars. Look, just we gotta use the scale that they weigh the whales with, my nigga. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, shit that we just never thought would be. Nah, bro, I'm going with Kiss. I mean, classic freestyles, classic moments, classic battles. You know, went against Beanie Siegel, who was a formidable opponent back then.
Don't forget 50.
50. You know, shout out 50, the Problem Child freestyle. One of the most iconic freestyles, iconic moments. Maybe he doesn't have the platinum album like Game does, or the platinum singles and shit, but yo, Jadakiss is double diamond in the streets, bro. Like, every time, even to this day, you hear Kiss verse. He just did the freestyle on the Rebel joint with Styles P and Kiss. I mean, Styles P and Sheik
I think they
Luch.
call them the lots.
They just happen to call those brothers the Locks. You know what I'm saying? LOX. And they and still got the bars, bro. Like, nah. Like, I shout out to Game. When Game wants to rap, he's phenomenal. Like, the features I've heard him with Nas, Dave East, like when he's in his bag, and I hate to say it, especially when he's in his Nas S bag, you know what I'm talking about. When he tries to capture that Nas introspection, he's phenomenal.
Because he raps like a East Coast.
There you go. But I mean,
Right.
talented MC, no question. But Kiss, bro, just so many timeless bars, so many just
I'm just
verses.
saying, I don't know why doesn't he rap like Easy?
I mean, because he know where it's at.
Abandon the West Coast.
know where
Game
it's
don't
at.
rap like Easy
Yo, you
E.
hear this nigga?
Listen, man.
Again,
Yo, what time you want?
I'm not
to
going-
I'm
I'm not going to the West Coast with this guy.
Big Boy and Sway coming for you, bro.
Nah, but like maybe, like I said, doesn't have the class, but it's been a part of classic albums. You know, to me, like We Are the Streets is a classic album. You know, Living Off Experience is a classic album. Like, has been a part of classic moments. Been like the bad boy shit after Biggie was them niggas. You get what I'm saying? Like, they just been a part of so many classic moments. Shout out to
Mace,
Game.
my namesake.
But niggas be knowing Game verses like that? Like, outside of the shits with 50?
Regionally, yes.
Okay, a lot in Mexico, you can't tell Mexicans nothing about Game.
If I said
I said
Red
regional,
Rose,
isn't
White
it?
Silk,
Nah,
I'm going
nah,
No, I mean West Coast. There's a lot of Mexican people in West Coast. They
love
love him, bro. Like,
That's valid.
on my
I
way,
hope,
on my,
see what
I
you're saying.
hope that's what you meant.
nah,
Yeah.
all my Mexican homies, that's the nigga they go to. Like, Game is the nigga. Like, when you talk about West Coast rappers. So, I mean, exceptional artist, man, but he don't have the moments. Like I said, you could say the albums, but as far as the stage presence, the voice, the like Kiss will walk you through the hood, bro. If you never been through the hood, Kiss will rap and you get a visual tour of the hood. I don't get that from Game. I just feel like Game is nice, but there's nothing else that goes along with being nice. And there's so many corny moments. And I hate the fact that the corny moments take away from the music, but I feel like it does. Like the constant name dropping, the constant trying to put yourself in situations we don't belong in. Like I never listened to a Kiss verse and said, yo, Kiss didn't belong here. Kiss didn't have to do that. Kiss forced it. I didn't feel like that. The verse, even if the verse wasn't Kiss's best, the verse was good. It just wasn't Kiss's best. You get what I'm saying? I don't feel like that about Game. I feel like I've heard enough Game music that's like, you know what? You cool, Game. You can rap, but I don't need this right now. Like maybe I'm feeling like that about Kiss now in his older years. Like I don't need to listen to Kiss as much as I used to. But all the old shit, bro, like when Kiss was rapping, like outside of the big J Nas, like that was the next tier. Kiss, Styles P. Like that was the next tier niggas. And nah, I never felt like that about Game. Like outside of Blank, Game is the next top 10 nigga. I just didn't feel like that. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
Talented MC, but just Kiss is just a staple, bro.
It's just the rap snob.
So I went into this a little conflicted because you and I, Jarv, have had the conversation many years ago. We had the Game conversation. You know what I mean? And I remember the day on this podcast where you found out that I was actually kind of a Game fan.
Oh.
You know what I mean? And I said that he had classic albums, and he was like, what are you talking about? Since when? You know what I mean?
Don't believe it.
And then that's when I found out how Jarv feels about Game. You know what I mean? And I'll let him tell it. But yeah, no, Game to me, from that, aughts era, the 2000s era, phenomenal MC. You know what I mean? Came out of Cali, sounded like what I wanted to hear as a New York guy, because he raps like a New Yorker. I'm sorry, y'all. You know what I mean? He definitely looked up to the Jays, the Nas's. He's collaborated with Nas a couple of times. The production, you know what I mean? The beat selection is impeccable. I mean, not just on the documentary on his debut, classic album, but even moving forward. I'm one of the few. I don't know who else might feel like that. Chat, let me know if I'm bugging or not. I'm sure. I know y'all will let me know. Or if you agree with me, you know what I mean, and you just want to admit it for once. I'm of the mind that Doctor's Advocate is actually better than the documentary.
Okay.
Walton is in the cut, also agreeing with me.
It's close, bro.
So-
It's close.
So you know what I mean. So me just voicing that, I'm empowering everybody else to follow along with me if you feel the same.
Those
way.
50 songs are hard to beat on
Right
documentary,
because,
but
right,
everything else.
Documentary was like handcrafted by 50.
Mhm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, that shit will bust the rhymes on the Doctor's Advocate.
Get
was
rid
crazy.
So,
Yeah.
but I mean, when I listen to them side by side, I'm like, I know the documentary gets all the claim and everything, but Doctor's Advocate is hard. But for me, and I know a lot of people feel like, you know what I mean, the Game has an incredible discography. For me, after the Doctor's Advocate, I wasn't really like looking to the Game like that, really. You know what I mean?
Jesus Piece,
It was cool.
Confidential.
documentary 2 and 2.5.
It was cool. It was cool. The first two albums was fire. You know what I mean? Now, I'll say this. The first two albums were fire because the Game can rap. You know what I mean? His flow work, pocket work, delivery is all good, and impeccable ear for production. But in terms of sheer bar work, if we are talking about sheer bar work, the Game does not hold a candle to Jadakiss. I'm sorry. Not a candle, not a birthday candle, not a fucking Santeria candle, not a goddamn menorah, no candles.
Not even a flashlight.
Not at all.
Nothing.
Not a lighter.
No form of lights.
Jadakiss is a different type of monster with the bars. Now, Jadakiss, look, y'all might call me a hypocrite out there because I'm the one that's like, oh, but like, Sin is always talking about like rappers with the classic albums. Jadakiss, I'll be the first one to admit, Jadakiss does not have a bona fide classic album. He has some albums that's like 4 mics, you know what I mean, but not classic. But within those 4 mic albums, some of the illest bars you'll ever hear in your life some of the illest flow work you'll ever hear in your life. You know what I mean? The voice alone, the laugh, you know what I mean? The sinister imagery that he brings to life through his bar work. Game is not seeing that. Game can put some words together very well. You know what I mean? But Jadakiss, as far as an MC, is on a different tier. And then you throw in all of the classic, not just his own classic records, like, you know, We Gonna Make It, Knock Yourself Out, Why,
By Your Side.
What was the other one that I was thinking about? Still Feel Me. Yeah. I mean, Feel Me and Still Feel Me.
Blood Pressure.
The Blood Pressure. The solo joint off of the Locks album, Off of the Love.
Off of the Love, yeah.
You throw
Crazy.
that. As soon as that beat comes on, you're locked in.
And that's not including like the tapes, but like the Green Lanterns,
Then-
the audio
then
heroines.
the freestyles, the mixtapes.
Champions here.
Then the shit that he did to Who Shot Ya, bro, like that just solidifies everything. And if that doesn't solidify everything, then all the guest verses that he's done, Reservoir
Timeless,
Dogs,
bro.
Blackout, fucking the Maya joint, fucking
Jenny
to
from
you.
the block.
Best
Jenny from the block, fucking, you know what I mean? So many joints that I'm dropping my phone just
Classics,
like talking
bro.
about them,
Classics.
I got PTSD, since yo.
bro. There's no contest, bro. It's Jadakiss.
Boy, we not beating the allegations with this topic.
I don't give a fuck. New York,
It is what it is.
Hit the like button. Hit the subscribe.
right where you
option.
stand with Gangstar, Reservoir Dogs, Johnny
Show-
Blaze, the Made You Look remix.
I thought you was
Remix.
done. I'm sorry.
I need it from the top.
Yeah.
Money, power, respect. Like just so many classics.
Nah, I'm giving that to X. This is a beat that I can freak. You know what I mean?
Not the real. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
It's tough.
24 hours to live?
X. 24 left until my death.
It's not enough. Let me cherish that. Yeah.
You know
Okay.
exactly where I'm going.
You're
I'm
not
gonna send you
wrong.
that
The
first.
bandwidth, the color
And
of
with the shit that I
dandruff.
be
But the-
doing,
but
I'm
the-
gonna send you
But
that
But
first.
who's the most memorable
The
verse? You know
color
what I'm
of
saying?
dandruff? Who says
You know what I'm
that,
saying?
bro?
Eat some fried chicken,
While
drink
he
in
was
there, and
thi-
tuck it.
While Jadakiss was thinking of the color of dandruff, Game was dropping like 5 names in his bars.
Nah, I ain't gonna front.
Get the fuck
I
out.
forgot what song it was, but that line that always stick with me is the shit about Stitch when he was like, I taught your son to say him did it. I don't remember what song that was from, but that shit was such an ill bar to me.
What's the freestyle shit? You said we bringing another raft, smoke purple, big pillows, roll something up and sleep on the other half, bro.
Beans just make you fart. Kiss really shit on niggas. I lived through that battle. Beans got it, but that was one of the greatest battles of all time that a lot of y'all never heard. But that being said, hit the like button, hit the subscribe option. About an hour into this podcast. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe option, hit the notification bell. We need about 500 likes on each and every video. Lock into the rap round table. Don't get so caught up in agreeing or disagreeing. Like what we try to do here, what we try to establish with this pod is that this is an open conversation. You know what I mean? The conversation is there. The chat is there. If you feel like we bugging, just write it. You know what I mean? Keep it respectful though. No, you don't gotta violate. You know what I mean? Because this is the lunch table. That's all I say. It's the lunch table. You here? We all building. We all vibing. We all talking about whatever the fuck we talking about. Add to the conversation. Don't get to the judging and finger pointing and being disrespectful. If you think Sinner's bugging or Jarvis bugging or Deanie's bugging or Mace's bugging, give your opinion. You know what I mean?
I'm not.
I be bugging.
Hit the like button, hit the subscribe option, hit the notification bell, add to the conversation, and don't be selfish. Tell a friend and tell a friend.
Yeah, y'all gotta excuse me because I just looked at myself in the camera in the shot. And I'm showing a lot of.
Oh my God, bro. Who mans is this, bro?
Sin said we need some ladies viewership, right?
I'm gonna hit- I'm gonna-
make it happen.
I'm gonna hit the requisite drops.
Hey.
That being said, when it comes to Game and Jadakiss, I'm gonna keep it real simple because you guys have covered all of the bases. I said bases, by the way. These drinks are working.
I said Clayton Carter.
Yeah, you did.
Amigos is Migoing.
Yeah. If you're talking about album for album, discography, Game got it. Game know how to put an album together. Game, matter of fact, I put it on wax. Game clears Kiss when it comes to albums. It's not close.
Easy.
This is true.
Body of work, Game got it. But if we're just talking about the ability, the skill set of rapping, I gotta agree with my guys. Kiss got it. Kiss can out-rap Game 7 days a week, twice on a Sunday. Granted, Game is no slouch, but I hate to bring this meme up, but it is what it is. If Kiss is doing the album promo rollout and he go to Big Boy, he go to Funk Flex, he go to Clue, he go to DJ Self, and they say, yo, Kiss, we need raps. Kiss gonna have them bars for you. Game do that. And we know what verse we gonna get.
What's that?
Red Roses
with the white
Red
Porsche.
Rose, white ceiling, man.
You know what I mean?
Red Rose, white ceiling, bro.
Oh my God. World renowned verse.
Kiss is, when it comes to the bars, he is your rapper's rapper. When it comes to the bars, Kiss is your favorite rapper's favorite rapper. Kiss got more of them bars that make you say, when he say it. It's like, and the thing is, he got this thing like, Game can rapidy rap his ass off. He can make some shit connect. Game makes words connect with the best of them. But Kiss be talking to
Talking, bro.
You know what I mean? It's one thing to be nice with the bars and making words connect and talking. And Kiss has that unique ability to both make the words connect while simultaneously talking to niggas. You know what I mean? And I think
Crazy.
That's why it bugs me out that he can't make that classic album, because he's almost like a fucking nigga, like a hooper. Well, every skill set you need, but if you ask him to play within a system, he can't do it. If he asks, like he like J.R. Smith to me, like he wow nice.
J.R. Smith is different.
Wow nice. Yeah. But if you say, yo, J.R., we need you to beat this guy in this particular scenario, he can't do it. But if you just tell him to go out there and hoop, 30, that's Kiss to me. You know what I mean? Whereas I look at Game like Timmy. You put him in that pop system, he gonna dominate. You put him in a triangle, he gonna dominate within a certain infrastructure. But if you tell this nigga to go out there and create and hoop, he look funny in the light. Like to me, Game can't hoop at the park, but he can hoop organized.
He can
when it comes to the bars, I'm talking about specifically.
Yeah.
Kids can hoop organized, but if you put him in the park, Rucker.
Streets, yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's a take right there.
That's how I look at it.
That's a hell of a
Great
take.
analogy.
So when it comes to the ability to rap, I'm leaning with Jadakiss. But if you're talking about album making, because I want to give grace to Game clears Kiss when it comes to making albums. Game to me, Game functions better when he has a specific structure and a point A to point Z. Like, this is what we supposed to do. I can do that.
And the props got to go to Game, because it is a big deal to make a great album. You know, so the props got to go with it.
And Jada's been in the Bad Boy and the Rough Riders system, so it's like that's a great point. You know what I'm saying? Like,
did his own thing in the D Block system. Now he just rapping, doing his own thing.
Did he do his own thing? Because he didn't make the classic.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's that's the J.R. Smith analogy. You know
Ironically,
had he
stayed in the Bad Boy system, he would have made that classic. Because
he got the two classics with the
by
group,
'99 he would have had a
with
classic.
Bad Boy?
Yeah.
With them
You think
Black
Deluxe
Rob
album is a
beats.
classic?
Yeah, Living Off Experience to me is a classic, and We Are the Streets is a classic.
I disagree, but I digress.
We Are the Streets is a street classic. The Block played the fuck out of that.
Right.
Okay.
But I don't know if
it's not a hip-hop classic.
All right. I can live with that.
Chat, let us know.
A lot of running the streets.
Let us know. We not even, matter of fact, that's what we gonna, anytime we disagree, we going to the chat. Y'all let us know. We not fucking professors and giving y'all homework. Y'all gonna be part of this conversation too. Is We Are the Streets, and what was the other project? Living Off Experience.
Yeah.
Classic albums. See or no?
Good convo.
Which is an Eastwick and all
Much
that.
more civil than our last Jadakiss conversation.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
What was our last kiss? Oh yeah, see,
I had these kicks on too, which makes it even funnier.
this is Casamigos. This is not Julio.
Yo,
Don
answer
Julio.
the fucking question.
Don Julio had niggas angry.
Yo, I did, nigga. Like,
Casamigos had niggas like, yeah, we having a
niggas
blast.
was wilding.
Hooli had niggas aggressive. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
man.
that's fighting, bro.
Yo,
Julio like the Hennessy
Fighting,
tequila.
bro.
You know what I mean?
we was calling a nigga Clarence. We was wilding,
He
bro.
was wilding. He was wilding.
We was wilding.
I didn't call him
I
niggas.
was wilding.
You're niggas.
Facts. You know,
Wildin'.
you know, Diddy he don't like claiming credit for his shit.
Nah, nah.
It's a signature move. We, you nigga,
Who's we, nigga?
we is French. You heard?
Hand
I'll say
raised.
this: Game, he's never given us a moment like what we had.
Like,
Right.
What's the
Never. That's never. happened.
Right.
Or
which
even like
is
I said, the quotables. Like, what's the game quotables that you're just like, oh my god, like
we said it. He done quoted it like 20 times.
But did you ever see that reel? Did you ever see that reel where they
Freestyle,
played
mad
the shit
time.
back to back?
Huh?
You ever seen the reel where they compiled all
Yeah.
them shits together?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Let's move on. You know what? Let's do something we haven't had the ability to do in quite a while. Let's be the chatty boys.
Haha.
The chatty boys are in the building, but we are chatting in a situation where even Sincere can be a chatty boy. The Diddy trial. We have actively ignored the Diddy trial. This is just us providing a checkpoint for those who tap into us. We're going to talk about it just a tad. My question for the table, we'll start it here, is that based on all the information that's in front of me, and Masito, get ready, bro. I'm coming to you.
What
You're the guy.
cooking?
Based on the information that we've heard, what's been reported each day in and day out, me personally, I don't hear anything that sounds like a Rico. It sounds like Diddy is a sick nigga.
Yeah.
Like individually, he's a bad person. But he got pulled in there for a Rico, the Freako, right?
The
Rico.
So based on what I'm seeing so far, I haven't seen anything that represents a Rico. So Masito, we're gonna start there. Based on what's by the prosecution, have they even put anything in position to where we can call this a proper Rico?
I like you, Jov, am no legal expert. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So
I'll pretend to be one
was
for the podcast.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Come on. Our legal expert. It's a difference. So I was feeling this a little bit similar to you, right? Like, it's clear he's a horrible person. It's clear he's manipulated people, done very suspect things. You know what I mean? I'll never be able to think of Frank Castle as the Punisher again. But
God damn it.
What I miss? You got it.
You don't want
you don't
leave this one missed.
I throw that in the group chat. Chat, let him know.
Holy moly.
But so it, you know, I
Is Diddy the
also,
real Punisher? in
Nah,
that
it's a,
situation?
Oh, you didn't see the cam
I didn't,
interview with?
no.
Oh,
it's a dude.
Yeah,
it's
man.
one of the dudes was named the
God
Punisher.
bless you. You know what I mean?
and
Oh,
the
I
worst
see- no, I
person
see
who
what you're saying.
could
No,
do
no, I see
the
what
interview was Cameron.
Cam. Yo, Cam was wild.
The worst.
Sorry,
But
I know what you're talking about now. I thought it was a comment on
No.
Frank Castle.
We're
No,
talking
no.
about
I'm talking about. I'm
the
saying
nigga who was
there is
in the
no more
Freak
Frank
Off.
Okay,
Castle.
it's just- he's the Punisher.
There is a
I
new
forgot.
Punisher in town,
the new Punisher.
and his family didn't get killed.
and he punished Cassie. Allegedly.
Alleged.
He wasn't worried about the kingpin.
The Kingpin was watching.
Put a bandana on. Covering the grill piece. I'm dead.
But where the fuck was I? But you know,
Is it a Rico or not?
I don't. You know, like you, Job. I can't rely on my own knowledge to tell me if it is or not. So I've been going around to, you know, different legal experts, different judges, different attorneys, and it seems like this does kind of qualify for a bit of the Freako Rico activities. More because, you know, of the sex workers he was hiring and also paying the women that were in his presence
Okay.
to do the things that they are testifying to doing. So, you know, we see so much in especially we're sidewalkers, but you know, we might know a couple
I don't even
guys.
feel comfortable saying that with this topic. You know what I
No.
mean? Apparently he likes them on the sidewalk. You know what I mean?
Man, Diddy, you didn't change the game in the worst way, bro. Shiny suit has a whole different meaning. these days.
Shit. Word to the Punisher.
But you know, so without
Sweet fancy Moses.
What was providing all that shine?
you know,
Well, the kids call it glazing. You see?
Oh no!
You know?
Damn.
the diddler, no
Oh,
Diddy.
shit.
You know what I'm saying? I don't know. So
That was a raw denim suit when he bought it.
Oh my God.
oh man,
Ah.
Wow, bro. That's
more
crazy,
money, more
bro.
something.
First.
They can't. They can't hold him down, but he can hold them down.
Damn.
But when we talk about, you know, when I've done my research, dog,
Mhm.
legal experts are saying there's about 5 to 10 possible years they could give him based on the testimony that's been given, based on things that they've heard. Just like you say, a lot of it is just attesting to the character, right? Just saying this is a terrible guy. Of course he would do this. But you know, that interstate travel with the sex workers, the coercing the women into sleeping with the sex workers, paying both for those activities, that could be roped in.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It could be roped in, you know, depending on how bad the jury hates Puff, how bad, whether those tiny legal things like, oh, you know, don't pay attention. You can't pay attention to the last two sentences. You know, for those who've been on jury duty, do you kind of remember the two sentences? But it looks like, you know, are they putting him away for life? Is he getting R. Kelly vibes? Is he getting Robert vibes? I don't think so. This whole, you know, Puff's gonna be gone forever type of thing. I don't think that's the situation.
Based on how this is playing out, he might, and in the streets talking about pardons.
That's enough.
He might be outside anyway.
You know what I mean? He might call up your boy Donnie. You know what I mean? He got ASAP out. He love Harlem niggas. So maybe, you know, Job from just from the research
maybe
I've
he'll
done.
invite the Punisher to a party since he loves Harlem niggas so much.
The Punisher party.
But
Y'all go, man.
Hey, here's the thing. You know, Dini, I won't even ask you to you know what I mean?
No freak
divulge in that, right?
Sheesh.
What I say is, with all the information about Diddy and assaulting Cassie, splitting her head open, the footage that we have seen, and all the information about Cassie being a person who was willfully involved in the freak off. With all this information, how have you received the info? Because it's a lot of shit we didn't know that. Like, we thought Cassie was a victim, and she might still be, quite frankly. But like, seeing that she was part of it, like actively, in the text messages that came out, how are you receiving all of this information post paying her off, et cetera, et cetera?
I think you can start off as a victim, but as you continuously play a role in some shit, you kind of like move from being a victim to being kind of like an accomplice after a certain while, you know? As far as Diddy, this is no Diddy defense, but my whole thing is like, if the whole thing was to being a freako,
the Mase side.
I'm trying to tread carefully.
If this nigga was a person,
because what does that have to do with like the whole Kid Cudi car blowing up thing? I feel like the whole thing is to make Diddy look like the worst person in the world, and as they should, because he's done some sick psychopathic shit, you know. But yeah, I think this is a case to just bring him down, like the way they did, you know, everybody else when they about to ascend to a certain level.
Nah, but blowing up a nigga car and beating up a dog, bro.
That's not a RICO though. You know what I'm saying? That's not as far as like trafficking.
Nah, but let's focus on Diddy. Like, forget the RICO. At this point, to me, I'll put it on wax. I don't know if they've done enough to establish a RICO. Maybe when they call the sex workers to the stand, but that's gonna change the argument.
So they
as of right now,
they have called some.
Shit, you know,
they have called some, and I feel like, well, even for the niggas who be flying ladies out, if you fly a lady out with the express purpose for action, low key, you kind of in that same.
My concern is that if you're in the jury,
according to the law,
and this is us being like mature about this, it's not throw all the jokes away now. We being dead serious. My concern is if you are in the jury and they have a job to do as people of the jury, and the federal government is saying that this guy is performing in a sex trafficking RICO, based on the information that's been provided, can they, in good faith, vote yes, he is guilty of sex trafficking?
Yeah, because supposedly the thing I heard is he was paying, 50. I understand it now. You know what I'm saying? Like, he was paying her a certain amount of money to continue these things going.
Okay.
You know, and reading the transcripts, like when she was like tired and saying, I'm tired, he was like, nah, you gotta finish it up. Shit like that, that coercion with the money being spent, with the flying people out, getting them to different locations. It's nasty, bro. It don't look good.
Because the thing is, I would hate that we do all of this and he walks. Because how does that work?
Money's money, though.
How does that work?
Money's money. Coercion works. Couple phone calls to the jury's family. I'm not saying this is shit that happens every day.
Well, here's my thing. I just wanted to like push back on something you said that caught me, because like you said Cassie might have like started off as a victim, but then sort of, you know, transitioned into an accomplice.
I think it's the opposite. I think she was an accomplice and then the shit went too far.
No, but my point is, like, if you start off as a victim, you're always a victim. You know what I mean? Because like Stockholm syndrome exists. You know what I mean?
Can I give you a weird example?
Uh-huh.
Like if you give me some crazy drug that gets me addicted and I like lose life, I don't go to work. I become like a bum. You get what I'm saying?
Okay.
And now I go outside robbing people to get money to buy these drugs. I'm no longer a victim. I'm still a victim in terms of I'm addicted to the drug, but now I'm making other people victims in my.
Well, that's
Right,
the
but that
because
you victimizing other people does not negate your victimhood.
and you didn't go out
You're
to
both
rob
victims.
them. The guy told you to go out and rob them. And
No,
you did it
but-
because
but
you
what
wanted
if-
to make him happy.
But what if he didn't tell me to rob? What if I just want to rob people because I have need access to get the drugs? You
Yeah,
get
no,
what
I
I'm
see
saying?
what you're saying, but
Like,
Right.
the
They're a
psychological,
victim, but you're initially a victim also.
right? The psychological
not
damage
to the person
done.
who I robbed.
No, you're right. See, but that's the problem. Like when you get into these conversations and you start speaking in literals, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
But in the terms of Cassie, the psychological damage done makes it to where she's always going to be a quote victim because she wanted to make this man happy, and then that made him happy turned into her doing it for her own
Oh yeah.
protection. Because this nigga's kicking my ass.
Basically saying,
You
if
know what
I
I mean?
don't do these things,
He's gonna
bad
fuck
things
me
will
up.
happen to me. Which only aids into that
Right.
that whole Rico too. to be
And,
honest.
you know, we've had these conversations just in general, and I don't mean by we, I mean society
Right.
has had these conversations about just everyday couples, everyday people. You know what I mean? When the level of power is so exponentially risen to the point of what Puff has,
Money,
power-wise,
Mhm.
money-wise,
Paying
not-
off security niggas, 100
Just-
racks
yeah.
and shit.
like the
power and money, basically.
the hopelessness that like settles in, like there's no way that I can escape.
No way out.
Absolutely, there's no way out.
Mm-hmm.
The-
Touche.
Right.
Apparently the last train
don't
to,
even
to
know how.
Paris
You know what I mean?
is completely wild now when you think about
Wow.
it. Last night. This nigga's a sicko, bro.
Yo, he is. He's a deranged nigga.
Like we always knew Puff was a sick nigga. Again, because if you fake hip hop nigga, you ain't know. But the real hip hop niggas been hearing about Puff for 30 years. But even this is like, huh?
But reading the documents and seeing everything is like, nah, this nigga was wild, bro. A different kind of wild.
Nigga
You know
beat
what
up
I'm
a
saying?
dog for Cassie, bro.
Traumatized the
Because niggas
pup.
always, because every time I think about it, they only talk about the dog got in the bathroom. If you a dog owner, I'm a dog owner since a dog owner, right? When you come to an area that's not your area and the dog knows you don't belong there, they are protective of the home. So for the dog to get into the bathroom, you would have to violate. Whether the dog is big or small, you would have to violate to get that nigga into the bathroom. He probably kicked this fucking dog.
I hope that's the. No offense, considering this is Diddy. I hope the kick is the only thing this dog got.
We don't
bro.
know because Cuddy said
Yo.
Cuddy said the dog is traumatized.
There you go.
So it's like this
Yeah.
guy right here, like as bad as we thought he was just a sexual deviant. This nigga is a maniac.
He's a psycho, bro. Psycho. That's some crazy shit.
That's why J-Lo ain't want to come back.
He's a different kind of guy to like just
Yeah.
abuse the dog.
That's crazy.
You know what I mean?
But you know, they say that those things like who you are is who you are, and the money amplifies all that shit.
I'm laughing because it's like he was so mad about Cuddy dating Cassie that the poor dog, just doing his job as a protector, got assaulted. That should be a Rico right there.
He said they went through my gifts, they went through my luggage, they went through
Nigga
my
open
bags.
gifts. What kind of
I'm
sick
like,
nigga does
yo.
that? This nigga, he's so mad that he opened the gifts.
No surprises for you. Nothing.
I don't know, but my thing is, I'm gonna keep I've been adjacently listening to the case. I'm not really following it because I don't care. I want to make that clear because I know we all know Diddy's whatever he is. Like y'all late, we've been new, right? But I would hate that all of this happens and he just trots right out that courtroom. You know what I mean? Because I feel a part of me feels like just the way.
Harlem shakes out that.
Right. I just feel like the way that they're calling the witnesses to the stand in the order that they're going to the stand and what they're talking about, I feel like for every person who might be a sex worker that can support it, the character witnesses, they're not truly helping the case. If it was a situation where Cassie was taken into court for like mental manipulation, assault, sexual assault, shit like that, this is open to shut.
Cooked.
But to me, because of the RICO and how the law works, you have to be able to prove a RICO. And I feel like character assassination is not proving a RICO. So I feel like they not right as of today. In my opinion, the prosecution is not doing enough. I'm willing to be wrong on that, but a part of me feels like he's gonna walk out that courtroom, y'all. That's just how I feel.
Who knows how much he's spending on that defense every day though? Like this is like thousands.
a lot going on here.
Thousands of bucks, bro.
Because you know, and I know we got other topics to get to, but just to wrap it up, is very interesting because when you really look at it, what everybody says is, you know, Diageo was, you know, used their political connects to make this happen. You know what I mean? So was it just a ruin your character situation? Was it just
Ciroc?
Yeah.
Really? I didn't know that.
That's like the rumor because, you know, he broke up with them. You know what I mean? And
you wanted more
rumor
money.
is that, you know, Diageo, you know, used what they had to make this come forward.
Because probably some employees probably at the freak off.
Mm-hmm. All of a sudden they found that video in the hotel after 8 years, you know?
And with it now seemingly,
I've been there.
and what we know about the feds is that they always have what a 99% fucking
97.
conviction rate.
I mean, Irvin and his brother beat him though.
Right.
3%.
But it's just interesting, you know, with everything going on. Like, did they jump the gun? You know what I mean? Because just like you say, just from what we're seeing, you know what I mean? It's interesting.
That's what I'm saying. As a casual observer, and we asking everyone to, because none of us are legal experts. All of the casual observers watching this case, just be prepared. That's all I'm saying. I'm being very responsible in saying this. I'm not supporting Diddy. What I'm saying is, legally speaking, I'm not sure they're doing enough to secure the victory. And if this nigga walks out of there and beats the charge, it's going to be a very awkward time for a lot of motherfuckers.
Yeah.
A lot of people.
Not going to be so hot.
A lot, yeah. It's going to be a lot of fake ass kissing.
I mean, I think he's finished either way publicly because of the information that came out in the trial. But if he beats the charge, it's like, then what? And it's like, what do you do now? You know what I mean?
Right.
Does he produce an album? Does he just disappear?
I mean, he has a life where he can just like
write off aliases. You know what I'm saying? Bunch of aliases, do something under a different name. Niggas,
I don't know. Go meet up with Russell Simmons,
you know,
he's at.
in Bali and have a conversation.
Do some yoga poses.
Because you remember that shit when they said they was looking for the tapes, and then the tapes they was looking for, they either couldn't find the tapes or the tapes were inadmissible in court. I ain't forget that. There was some shit that they was looking for that they found, but then it was like it wasn't admissible in court because they took like illegal parameters, or it was the books Puff was writing it, and they was trying to get that shit, and the tapes didn't have what certain shit that they was looking for as well. Like, they're not reporting that every day, but I didn't forget that there was certain shit early on that they was investigating when they did those raids that they did not find that makes this whole thing a little fuzzy. You know what I mean?
Very interesting.
So I want y'all to just don't let the media just tell y'all one thing. Like, go back and Google. And I remember that shit like a year ago when the raids first happened. Go Google that shit and you see like there's certain shit that all the corners are not covered by the government. They got this nigga in court right now, but they hoping that public's opinion and sentiment is gonna carry the day. And that's just not how the law works.
Nah, it's not.
You know what I mean? The only like Puff black, but he rich.
Yeah, and famous, super
And
famous.
newsflash, let me tell y'all something about America. Whether you black or white, if you got enough money, you could buy yourself out of anything.
You heard?
And friends with Donnie.
Shit.
Friends with a lot of people, actually.
They gotta have an
Kinda like
ironclad
Kodak
case,
Black.
bro. And I don't see an ironclad case. I see a vagrant, a piece of shit that did some piece of shit things.
Like you said, if it was the
Right.
other things like, you know, like abuse, domestic violence, and all that, would have
he's
been had him.
finished.
Yeah.
He's finished.
But yeah, they want the RICO because they'll be able to stop all the assets and really like go into book by
Right.
book
And I
and see
forgot I
what's
read
going
something
on.
or watched something that the federal government didn't move until he paid Cassie off.
30
The payoff was the open. I
20
forgot what I was
30
reading or
M's.
watching. I said the payoff was the door opener for them to make that play, which is like that. Even that is a slippery slope.
They said that wasn't Puff that paid that. That was the insurance, and I think it was like they supposedly was an undisclosed
the
amount.
$30 million that she
Yeah.
got.
That was in 24 hours that decision was made.
Or what is it? She got paid based on what?
Well, I think she had a demand, and then they just kind of settled
Who
out.
was she demanding the money of?
Diddy.
All right, so it don't matter where it come from, then, bro.
I get what you're saying, but I'm saying it's not $30 $30 million out of my pocket.
What I'm saying is the payoff.
That's going to my defense now.
No, but the payoff, the fact that she got paid off,
Nah, it's-
was the red flag.
and especially instant. It's instant. 24
Because
hours.
the raiders happened right after the payoff. You know what I mean?
Yep.
It look nasty.
But
Look
considering moguls who look crazy, who might be terrible from the 90s, not even might be, they are terrible. Like, not even a might about it. Another mogul, in fact, his counterpart, because at one point there were only two moguls in this shit in the 90s. It was Suge Knight, it was Puff Daddy. Suge Knight looks very funny in the light. Ray J is saying things that he took men's
Manhoods.
ethics or manhood. You know what I mean?
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Hey.
He was using sticks of butter.
Margarine substances.
Like he said, what was it? He was using parquet sticks,
Not the parquet.
sticks of butter to lube men up and take their backsides as a means of domination. Ray J said that he's only coming forward because Suge tried to make him look crazy by putting the gay allegations on him. And Ray J said that I cannot have the gay people that I know who respect me look at me crazy for being in the closet all the time. So I can't stand for that. This is Ray J saying this. So he's going to put out there that Suge did these things and Suge did it as a means of dominance. Not that he's gay, but that he did it as a means of dominance. Ray J went on to say that how could
anything wrong with that?
Not that there's we don't care. We like women. We don't give a fuck about what you like. You know what I mean?
Hey, girl.
But Ray J was saying, even if you're not, quote, gay, how did your mans get for the situation? Like, you gotta like that shit for you to get buffed behind that. You feel what I'm saying? So Sincere Rap Star didn't know these things. And it's like, if Suge Knight is out here, you know, because there was a quote that Ray J made that said, like, niggas is getting their asses taken and shit like that. And that got him in trouble with Puff's kids because they felt like he was talking about Puff. Ray J said the whole time he was talking about Suge. So Sincere Raps now, after all 30 years later, Suge Knight, one of the toughest niggas in the world, allegedly, is out here taking niggas' backsides with sticks of butter. What the fuck?
So this is out in the open.
Yes.
Not like
according to Ray J. According to Ray J.
Ray J just said it out there, bro.
Oh
How
man.
do you feel about Ray J's word? You know,
Look,
The
honestly,
Rap Roundtable.
I'm at an age and at a point where I'm like, yo, who's not gay? we might as well like just write that list.
Tonight's entertainment.
It'll be easier. It'll be easier to write out who's straight, who's not gay or has not done some gay shit. You know what I mean? It'll be us four, and then I don't know, couple other people.
Facts.
Like Walter in the cut. Walter in the cut. Us five.
I said, Walt, man, that's it.
Damn it, man.
Nah, because like
Sit off the top rope. Man.
I'm just saying, like ever since the 90s, coming up as a teenager, like all the rumors about, you know, gay rappers or whatever. And I remember at the time being like, nah, they can't be a gay rap. Like, this is probably predominantly like motherfuckers out there that have done some type of gay shit at some point, either by their own accord or been forced into weird situations where they're just like, all right, I guess I'm doing it if I want this record deal. You know what I mean? It's just like, it'll be a shorter list just to come up with who has not done some gay shit.
oh
Wow.
man,
So you're not surprised that
Not
Suge
that
Knight,
there's anything wrong with that.
that's not even an argument.
That's not what we're saying. It's just like, if you know, the facts of the matter are,
right.
most people in the industry,
evidence support.
in the entertainment industry,
Study the
probably
Diddy
done a
party
gay thing
list.
too, man. You know what I mean?
Rico list.
So
I'm not. I mean, I'm shocked, but I'm not shocked.
So you're not shocked that Suge Knight of all people, Marion?
I mean,
But look, here's the thing too. It's like motherfuckers will they'll
Sticks
try.
of butter?
I'm just saying that, like, no, the butt,
That's
the
crazy.
butt,
Sticks of butter
the
sound
butter
crazy,
is
bro.
Wild.
He sent niggas to the store to buy that shit. So, word to
They
Ray J.
knew what they was
Butter.
buying. it
Allegedly,
for.
Ray J. According to
Lando
Ray J.
Lakes.
According to Ray J.
I can't believe it's not butter,
wow.
He not even regular butter. He bought margarine, my nigga.
bro. Butt butter.
But butter is different, bro. Chill.
Yo.
What are we doing out here?
Hey.
Butter.
D need a balance.
Oh man.
Is there a realm where you can take a man's backside and not be gay?
Nah, I don't think so, bro. Like, you remember back in the days when Ray J called, I think it was the Breakfast Club, he was beefing with Fabulous.
Yeah.
He swore he was gonna stick some, I got the booty goons for you and all that. And he just was sounding so certain that these dudes would get the job done. And I'm like,
Facts.
And I'm like, yo, why does he sound so certain? And now all this shit.
Well, he said he has gay friends.
Now
That's
all
what
this
Ray J
shit
said.
comes to light, and I'm like, yo.
Ray J said he's popping in the gay community and he
Why
respects
does
the
he
gay
sound
community.
so
So
certain?
like he just said, I got the
Nah,
booty goes
he
for
said,
you.
Diddy, he said he respects the gay community too much to be in the closet. That's what he said.
That's crazy, bro. That's crazy when you think about it.
Oh,
But
man.
like, yeah, so
2025 is
so
wild,
it's made me
bro.
think like, yo, was Suge the booty goon? Like the person that you knew would be able to get the job done?
Ah,
That's
shit,
awkward,
changes everything.
Who
bro.
could get the
But look,
job done?
the-
huh?
The point I was
Wow.
gonna make before you threw it
Yo.
He was just so
Wow.
certain. I was like, that's crazy.
2022 rap round table.
Crazy.
Like, listen to this. All
I
right.
guess Suge would be that guy. I hate to see it.
But the point I was gonna make
bro.
before you threw
That's
it to
crazy,
Dean
bro.
Pause.
Hey, yo. During this
Um,
conversation.
Be
is
careful,
wild.
sir.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
Careful.
Hey.
Is that like I do feel like like people will try to spin it
Mm-hmm.
into some type of narrative where it's like they'll be in the I'm not gay though. This is just like a power move.
That
Please.
Law
And
and
that,
Order episode.
and you know what I mean? And look, I'm being sidewalkers, like I don't
I'm,
know-
I'm a house nigga at this point.
I,
Because with all this,
chill.
with the weird
House-
shit,
House
Nah, I'd
nigga
rather
is
be that-
crazy.
I don't want to be on sidewalk with
A
Diddy. and
nigga that
Suge.
loves the house, baby.
Nah, because between Diddy and Suge, I don't want to be on no sidewalk, nigga. Get the fuck out of here.
Find something else to call yourself other than
As an indoorsman.
There we go. An urban endorsement. There you go.
That works.
The fuck?
But no, I know that, like, you know, in jail that's part of the
Allegedly.
allegedly that's part of the, you know, the power
According to
structure
Oz, you know.
Mm.
and the, you know what I mean, I hate to call it the culture, but like, I mean,
Whoa.
it's
I mean, culture is
But
perpetuated.
the nigga,
What the
Suge was
culture
not,
feeling
It is
too?
Suge was,
perpetuated in the joint.
Suge was outside sending niggas to the store to buy margarine, bro.
But why couldn't he be though? Like, you know what I'm
Allegedly.
saying? Can you look at somebody and go, no, he can't be gay? Like maybe Suge was on that type of time. I mean, if you dangling niggas off the roof,
Man.
you doing all types of paws dangling. You get what I'm saying? Like
All right.
maybe that's his type
All
of
right.
time. I don't know.
Mesito, do you have anything to add to this topic before we move on?
I believe everything that
This
each
nigga
of them
said
are
dangling,
saying
I'm
about
sad.
each other. Okay, I believe everything Suge says about Ray J. I believe everything Ray J says about Suge.
Mm.
Ray J, as you mentioned, is not only a ally to the gay community. He runs what he calls the Gagency,
Yeah.
which is like a
sorry.
promotion company for
For
gay
people.
creators,
really
sex workers, like
Oh,
like OnlyFans creators, porn stars.
Wow.
So he runs the Gagency as the management company for, you know, gay porn stars and OnlyFans stars. So he's a huge ally to the gay community.
He's an
Pause. All right, so he feels personally insulted by this. Now with Suge, we've been hearing this for years, right? He
Yeah.
pissing in cups.
I'm not gonna
He
lie,
begging
I
for-
never heard this. This is new to me.
They apparently
I heard
they
it before.
pissed in the cup and made some dude drink it. They was trying to get, you know what I mean? Like this has been
that's a little I mean, it's still incredibly deviant behavior, but, like,
incredibly
It's not.
deviant. And they said it's not the first time. And you know, I treat Death Row like the Zapruder film, so I know everything about Death Row. I know the H&R nigga at Death Row from 1992. I know all the stories. You know what I mean? They've been saying Suge was like would take a nigga to the back and get him right if he ain't do what he say. Like I've been hearing about this for at least 10 years in the research that
Giving
I've been
niggas
doing.
tune-ups,
So when I
bro.
heard this, I'm like, damn, Ray J just
Genie.
Yo, I'm just saying. That's the word. This has been the word. You know what I'm saying?
he said it.
Tune-ups.
Nah, we're Lord Jamal.
Like, who is this guy? Where
That's
did he come
you brought
from?
this up.
And why do we
I heard
fucking
him
keep acting like
say
he's somebody
Yo,
that we need to fuck with?
Tune-ups,
Get rid of
man.
this guy.
It's a sad world
So
we
I,
living
you know,
in.
we've been hearing this for years. You know, Ray J, it's like I said, he has his own situation going on. Suge, who is currently in prison, has been roaming for years. So listen, it's like a lover's spat, right? You know what I mean? You probably should believe what the husband and the wife are saying about each other. Yes, his drawers is dirty. You know what I mean? And she cheated on the wedding day. I get it. You know what I'm saying? So I believe everything that each of these guys have to say about each other. That's it. That's it.
This is a crazy topic. Chat, let us know what you think. You know what I mean? Is Suge Knight been a closeted gay man this entire time and Ray J has dropped the bomb? This is one of the craziest episodes of the Rap Roundtable ever, but that margarine shit fucked me up.
Yeah, man.
Because that's a well thought out lie to make up. Like you could just say a nigga gay and lie. You know what I'm saying? But for the sake,
not Carvel from Snowfall. You feel me? Like what the fuck?
He ain't say baby oil. That nigga specifically said margarine, my nigga.
Butter. Wicked work.
Yo, we gonna move on. You know what I mean?
Between work.
Who would have thought you imagine getting out of a time machine right now and niggas telling you in 2025 you left in 98. You show up in 2025.
You're in a coma.
You show up in 2025 and niggas telling you that both Diddy and Suge Knight are closeted guys who are sexual deviants. Your mind is blown.
Yo, lost in the sauce, bro.
Yeah.
I don't know. I might have believed it.
Nah, he wasn't believing Suge. Diddy had the rumor since 98.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
You know?
Masito, it's time for your segment. Hopefully that you're a little more on the rails in the last two segments.
Well, what a wild episode, guys.
Wow.
Let's try to get things back in order. You know what I mean? I personally won't be buying any more margarine. But let's get to this. Let's get to the talk. You know, Jov always introduces me, you as well, Dean, as voice of young rap, and I feel like a lot of our new viewers are like, why do they even call that guy that? Because I never talk about young rap.
Right.
So for the next few weeks, for the next few in studios, we gonna be shining light on young rap from all over the game.
Fire.
In the opening segment, we gonna have to do the East Coast. All right, we gonna have to talk about who on the young rap side on the East Coast, who's making noise, who's next, who's about to do their thing. So it's like Jov said, and Jov with a point that I feel like was one of the greatest points of the year in all of podcasting, about how New York and the South have switched sides, basically. You know what I mean? And the way the South used to operate. Bro, real talk. I was like, nobody's gonna talk about this. About how New York kind of operates how the South operated in the 90s, the early aughts, and how, the South operates how New York did, or almost operates, however you want to call it. So, like Jov said with that, we got a lot going on in New York. It's drill, it's sexy drill, it's boom bap, it's the over underground, it's, whatever Jim Jones is doing. You know what I mean? Like, we got a lot of shit going on the East Coast. So, on the young rap side, I feel like there's a few names that I got to talk about on both ends of the spectrum, right? So let's start with the youngins, right? Let's start with they told us, we all used to feel like youth ran rap until we were old. So, you know what I mean? I'll give them, you know what I mean? I don't feel like it no more neither. But I remember the year that I stopped thinking about it. Shouts to the 30s. But let's start with Zeddy Will. You know what I mean? And that, I know a lot of the people might not know what's going on, but I promise you the kids know who Zeddy Will is. More of like on the dance side, more of on the, not even the sexy drill, like party vibes. You know what I mean? A lot of what the Philly guys were doing with that, with the up-tempo Uzi beat type shit. Zeddy Will's like the champion of that lane right now. He's doing his thing. Jersey Club, yeah, right. that type of production style, that type of vibe, yeah. And he's kind of even doing it on a higher level than them right now as well. Shouts to 4-1. So Zeddy Will, we got to give him his props. He's doing his thing right now. If you got a kid, throw some Zeddy Will off on him, and they gonna appreciate it. You know what I mean? Don't be listening to that old shit in the car all day, man. Let the kids have fun.
Tap into Zeddy Will, Masito. Send that at the IG at the send so he can put it up on the screen. So
say that.
Tap in.
I got you. Also, with another artist that's I think will make a little bit of noise, Kaki Ka.
Whoa.
Yeah. I know, guys.
Hold on, let me just hit. You know what I mean? Let me just do my job here as the. You know what I mean?
Like, who is this guy?
I get it.
Where'd he come from?
Okay.
And why do we fucking keep acting like he's somebody that we need to fuck with? Get rid of this guy.
Quite frankly, let's get it out the way. You know what I mean?
Kaki Ka right after the margarine talk would have been crazy. Oh man, I never thought we say booty goons on the Rap Roundtable.
You're right. You're right.
But we gotta give him his props. He's out here. He's making noise. Just signed with QC. Did a lot of
joints. New York niggas.
Yeah, man.
Wow. That's a beautiful look.
Keep on taking it. He a lot of people know him from the Meek and Friday remix. He did the Dark Knights remix, but he's really been putting in a lot of work. You know what I mean? More on the street tales, you know, not quite rod wave as far as the melodies, but that type of perspective, you know what I mean? But the kids love him, you know what I mean? Over, you know, doing numbers on his music, you know, like more, because when you talk about the youth, they like the party shit, but they also like that shit that kind of speak to them, the situation that they going through,
Hold on, Mace.
the vibes that's going on. What's the word, y'all?
You know, for the 47 and 58-year-old niggas, newsflash. The young New York kids love melodies. They love hood tales with melodies.
Facts.
The shit that y'all like, the triple fast goose shit, they don't even know it exists. Get over your fucking selves, as you were, Mace.
Right. So we got to give him his credit. I think, I really think, and you know, he doesn't quite fit the mold of what you look at an artist visually, but I think the music that he's putting out, I've heard him outside multiple times. That's something. I'm not mentioning anybody I have not heard outside. You know, so we got to give him his credit. I think he is about to be the next kind of one. You know, the A Boogies to the Cash Cobains, the next people in that line of artists. You know what I mean? So be on the lookout for him. Now, you know, we can't speak about shit and not speak cloth shit right now. In New York, is the cloth of the cloth. So there could have been a lot of artists that I spoke about. Maybe not on the young side, but definitely there's certain artists that are putting in work. But to me, I feel like we need to put a spotlight on Kai Cash, one person who came out in the middle of it. We spoke about what New York would do, wouldn't do. Everybody had something to say. As far as I remember, the first artist to come out and back up Joey was Kai Cash, and he's putting in work right now. He has bars. He just put out a recent project I'm looking at now, but go to, you know, you got a Spotify, Apple Music. His most recent project, full of bars, full of I won't say boom bap, but more that early aughts, mid 2000 kind of flow, what we like from New York, from lyricists, from artists. So I got to give him his credit. I didn't know who he was before this situation, but I did some research because I said, well, if somebody's gonna jump out the window, I should support him.
You did the knowledge?
Did the knowledge.
Shit.
Knowledge, bro. You know what I mean? Unlike a lot of folks. So we got to give Kai Cash his credit. I think on the cloth side, under 30, I feel like he's representing it as well as it can be represented right now. So we got to give him his credit. Now, you know, I gotta give the young rap side, of course. You know what I mean? But Jaw, we can't leave without a little UMG news, okay? We cannot.
Who's getting sued now?
Now listen, same people. But recently, there's been in the UMG Drake case, there's been, you know, a protective order that both sides have put in place. Apparently there is such sensitive documentation and such sensitive information that both sides have agreed to put a protective order on all information within Discovery. It's decided that this Discovery is expected to be done by May 2026. So this shit is going to stretch out.
Sheesh.
So Discovery is expected to be until
Hold on.
yeah,
Sin found out in the mist. Like,
it's a lot of lawyer jokes for me, bro.
Sorry, bro.
183 weeks. But that's what's going on with the Drake case. You know what I mean? The discovery is going on. The information is so crazy that they said, yo, until May 2026, this shit ain't coming out. We don't want to know what's going on. So we got to keep you abreast of, you know, and that's a wild word to use considering the content of this recent podcast.
Nah, we need more breast talk after the last two rounds.
You know, hey girl. But you know,
send titties to the rapper on the table IG DM just to balance it.
yo, for real. At this point,
please,
fuck this point.
Fuck it.
Put them out.
But that's what's going on with the Drake case. And, you know, this is more of an opinionated piece. Very interesting, the most recent Pusha T article. Basically kind of admitting to that Drake, you know, is, you know, people, you know, I know people are stuck into the Drake and Pusha T of it all, but he basically just admitted to everything Drake is doing in this lawsuit or asking of UMG in this lawsuit. Pusha T is basically saying, yeah, UMG was doing it for him. So I know this.
Doing what? What's it?
Stopping people's music. You know what I mean? Supporting push in the sense that Pusha T is saying that they absolutely did what Drake said that they were supposed to do with Kendrick, which is, you know, somebody's dissing my artist, we're putting a kibosh on it, you can't release it, figure out a way to release yourself. Pusha T is saying he went through the experience that Drake tried to put Kendrick through. And so I don't know whether
Rick Ross
that,
shit.
like, does that help Drake's case? Because it's basically an admission that UMG was doing it. So it may help the case, but it definitely
so
hurts him.
interesting.
It
with the
hurts
close.
Drake's Q rating, but it helps
Yeah.
Drake's case.
Right. So very interesting information there as well. For sure.
Hit the like button. We need 500 likes in each and every video. That was a bombshell that Mace's dropped at the end of that segment. Don't let that go over your head.
Real quick. Can we stay here for a second?
No, but go ahead.
I know we're running late, but like so basically Drake is saying he's mad that they didn't do what they had already done. What he's saying they had already done. For him.
Absolutely.
Like y'all did this for me before, but y'all not doing this for me now. What gives?
Right.
That's what I've been telling y'all the whole time.
And are there? Well, I guess we'll find out with the discovery. Are there contractual obligations to this? You know what I mean? Is it written in paper that they're supposed to do this? We don't know.
They're supposed to insulate them from any kind of attacks or shit like
Right.
that.
Very interesting. Very interesting.
Or at least not like aid and abet in the situation type shit. You know?
Well, it could be all of that.
Yeah.
That's why he's suing them, because they probably breached the contract to support Kendrick. Allegedly.
That little high five at the Grammys didn't help either.
Bro. He was already suing before the
Yeah.
high five, though. So it don't
I
even
mean,
matter.
that just
They
added
just
more
they was
fuel.
telling Drake.
Now
the
they
high,
added that
Yeah,
to
they-
it.
the high five was
Yeah.
them telling Drake to kiss their ass. That's what you saw there. Like
The high
shoot,
five
shoot,
was that
bitch,
this
nigga.
nigga's cooked.
You know what I mean? That's basically what you saw. But I digress. It's time for my favorite segment. You know, the mailbag.
Yeah.
Starting off with a live from a couple weeks ago. We were talking about a few things. I was in the midst of the Joey Badass, Daylight, Rayvon Hurricane.
Oh man.
Towards the tail end. Solo says, must be an Absol fan. Seems like Sincere wanted a diss track, even though he said he didn't judge it as
No,
such.
next.
Okay. Elo Static says, and he's talking about like hip hop, not the disses so much. I'd like to see some posse cuts with these guys, with them showing their skills on the track as opposed to individual tracks. I like both, but would prefer to see the posse cut. I mean, what you gonna see that you didn't see in the disses?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Repo Birdie says, gotta disagree with the Ab take. I think some niggas are delusional. Ab was just on a Red Bull scripted shit with Joey. What the fuck are niggas expecting? Him to run a hit him up on Joey, keep it a friendly fade. All that shit is a play. All you niggas coming out the woodwork is whack, chasing clout. Reason, shut up. Gina over here chopping it up with an established spitter. That's more than enough from a nigga that has nothing to do with Joey wanting to get a little clout off the big dog. I understand niggas want what they want in caps, but what the pastor just dropped was perfect for putting this shit in perspective and to bed. Leave us alone and go get in the booth.
That's a lot of words, man.
lot.
Look, just to make it clear, and I said as much on that live. I know it wasn't a diss track. I wasn't expecting necessarily a diss track. It would have been fun to have gotten a diss track.
Right.
But when I heard it, I was like, okay.
More.
No, it wasn't even more. It wasn't necessarily more.
Right.
It was, all right, I see the perspective he's coming from. He's trying to just like, tie a bow on this and just.
It's not his place to tie the bow, in my opinion.
Well, okay, fine. We can have that conversation, but it was on some Last Real Live where it was just like telling the story of everything that transpired and just putting a period at the end of the sentence, right?
Okay.
But he could have done it in a way that was more dynamic, entertaining, that was more of a moment, either production wise or lyrically, both, right? So. Saying that we wanted something that or that we were expecting something that we didn't get, that's not what it was.
Okay.
It was like what we got could have been bigger or more.
Yeah. Long story short, if you're gonna rap at that point in the situation, if you're not dissing, then shut the fuck up. Is my point of view.
It was
No disrespect to Soul, but I feel like it was still a tense situation, and considering everything that transpired in the West, whether accurate or not, depending on who you ask, might have been on the ropes, might not have been on the ropes, but the overall sentiment was Joey was ahead. If you're Absol and you're getting involved, if you're not striking back, it's probably best to stay on the sidelines, because we're a few weeks removed from that. No one's talking about that song. You know what I mean? Next entry. Sagal514 says, I feel like I'm the only, I feel like he says am, but I guess he meant I am. I feel like I'm the only one who feels this way, but this whole rap beef was performative to me. It's promotional. If you want to compete, compete. If there's no issue, why are you doing diss tracks? And also, this East-West Coast beef is fake. That's why these songs have no oomph to them. First and foremost, Sagal, everybody with ears between their bread, in their my brain between their ears knew that it's kind of performing.
Right.
Especially when Joey, the freestyle, the Rebel shit was recorded in March. Everybody was in on it. Yes, it was promotional. Yes, it was competitive. But we didn't give a fuck because we love the sport.
The music,
Right.
yeah.
And that's the problem. You could tell, I don't know how old this person is, but you could tell that they've been in a situation where they don't understand when it's beef, because it wasn't beef. When it's competitive rapping. Rapping for sport.
All these guys know each other.
Right. So you weren't the only one, but the people didn't give a fuck because we all understood. I would say the one thing we agreed on from coast to coast, that this was strictly competitive. It was for the sport of it, to see who was the best amongst the group. So no, bro. We hear you.
Right. I'll add some quick. And I'm sorry, Mase, but I have to drag your boy again. Like this is the thing that gets me tight, because whenever I see that clip of Drake with Angie Martinez, and he's like, and she's like, oh, if you could get in the battle or whatever, and he's like, I don't know about that, because like if it's not real beef, then what's the point of it? The point is the sport. You know what I mean? And that to me speaks to like how much of a visitor he is to the culture, because like he should understand it, especially somebody that says that they study battle raps for a living.
He's a clown.
Like you should know that there's you could battle somebody just for the sport of it. It doesn't have to be real
SP
beef.
and Jay-Z battled each other on Jay-Z's song. Beanie
They let him
Siegel and
drop
Kiss,
the
while it
luggage
went
off.
left, it started off as friendly fire. It went left, and then they shook hands and made music afterwards. As men, testosterone overflows. Sometimes it goes left. Sometimes friends fight, and then they're friends right after. It's all about the competition, the competitive spirit. Who's the best with the bars? Now, who has the most clout? Not who sold the most records. It's just about who's better at putting words together. And Joey Badass, in our opinion, when it was all said and done, while niggas slept, including us, we are niggas. When it was time for him to show up finally, and he knew he had it in the clip since March, and we had niggas telling us he had it in the clip since March. You know what I mean? Because when I think about some of the DMs I got from a certain person who's kind of set tripping now, but he sent the DMs. That was March when he said Joey had niggas on deck. You know what I mean? So,
okay.
If it's about that, that's what it's about. We don't hate the West. We don't give like all that stupid shit. Y'all was getting too emotional. It was just about who delivered the best when the lights was on. And when the lights came on and the Red Bull freestyle dropped and the Alva 2 records dropped, Joey showed the fuck up. It was pull up, elbow pull ups. It was fadeaways. It was 3-point shots.
Yeah.
It was chase down blocks. It was
Shit
all that.
loaded.
You know what I mean?
Combination.
Fuck if it's staged or not. Niggas competed. Nobody threw a Frank. Nobody talked tough. It was just, I'm better than you. No, I'm better than you.
And today it seems like it's all beautiful. So
there you
At
go.
the drop of a hat of it getting out of hand, nigga, stop.
And,
Right.
And at the end of the day, what other purpose is there for battle?
A lot of people
They
I
don't
guess
know
they're
that,
not
bro.
really of this shit.
the claws.
You know what I'm saying?
It's battle, Crudy.
Danique Nation says Pusha T ain't even close to the top 10. He ain't dropping 3 years. See, this is to our top 10 pound for pound list. He ain't dropping 3 years, and that album hasn't aged well. I haven't heard a single person talk about now. Well, I can tell you right now, Danique Nation, that record dropped from the clocks. I'm tired.
That
From the
Ace
clips,
Trumpets.
Yeah.
and everyone's talking about it.
Everybody.
It's-
Ace Trumpets.
Wasn't
Ace-
that timing?
Yellow
Like,
diamonds
Hey,
look like PP.
No, thank you, Mase. Because a lot of you still do not understand that when we say shit, it is not simply by the record that you guys see out there. It is by what we feel in the culture
Right.
permeating
Pulse.
and the pulse of what's going on right now. We hadn't heard, I'm not saying we heard the Clips record, but we knew it was coming, and we know what Pusha T does. And like when we talk, like when we say shit, when we talk about shit, like it's it's premeditated. It's like we're looking through. You know what I mean? I don't want to talk too much shit.
27 in Zenith, bro.
We see it. We see it coming on the horizon. Pause. We have the crystal ball. You know what I mean? Pause again.
Hey.
Like we're, you know what I mean? Like we see it before it happens. Is what we're trying to tell.
Bigger W. My fault. Bigger W. Throwing Pusha on the list right before Ace Trumpets drop. We're keeping Wayne completely away from the list, knowing that Carter 6 was
Can we
coming
just
out.
say yes? Can we just say yes universally?
Yes.
Fire.
But it's like
Yes.
sometimes it's not about with certain artists. Yes, it's about controlling the conversation. With certain artists, it's about when they do come outside, how much of that conversation do they control?
Mhm.
Ace Trumpets drops. We get the news
Everybody.
about what happened with getting off Def Jam, and that was the talking point for about a cool 4 to 5 days. If that don't show you that a nigga's top 10 because when he drops it means something and it matters, then we can't help you and you disagree. And we're not asking you to agree. Again, I keep explaining to you guys. We have our opinions. You guys have your own. We don't talk at you as a show and say you should agree with the rap roundtable. We just tell you what we think.
And hip hop
True,
is so
but it
looking
also
forward
speaks
to
to
this album.
how we have our finger on.
Of course, we
You know
but
what
they don't get that.
No.
They don't get that. You know what I mean? They don't
So-
understand that niggas is on the internet. We're reading these articles. We're seeing what's trending. They never take account for that. A lot of niggas is not on the net, but they'll watch his pod and don't understand what's happening on the net.
And like
The
and
real
the
shit
thing
that's
is
going
also because like it's happened entirely too many times for us to like recount every single time that it's happened.
I mean,
But
they won't give us that credit even if we did.
But we talk about some shit
Shouts to the Chris
here on these couches or at that table over there that you don't see anymore. And like by the time this drops about half a week later, literally what we were talking about here is now the topic of conversation that's happening out there.
Right.
You know what I mean? And
Regularly.
y'all don't know because like this is pre-recorded. Y'all swear everything is live.
We suffer from being early, bro. That's really it.
That's
We're
happened
always
multiple
early. We're
times.
never on time. We're early. Going back to the greatest battle of all time outside of Jay-Z versus Nas. We were about 6 months early. And niggas called us dickheads and we don't know what the fuck we talking about. Come to, only for Kendrick to hop out the fucking window and kick
Shout
Drake's
out to
back.
Right
Future.
after, bro.
You know what I mean?
Right after.
But anyway, let's get to the positives. Lolita Harley says, "Can't wait for the shirt. Cloth certified. You see it."
Salute, beloved.
Her name is Lolita.
Rep your coast.
Lolita Harley. That's her name. 8701.
Dope name.
No.
Send his
Lolita.
hashtag
Sound
intrigue.
lovely, right?
AJ91X2, the biggest Cole fan in our
Lolita, send
chat.
us a DM.
Jesus Christ.
I mean, you open up that.
Take it
I-
with
I was about to say you asked,
Yeah.
you asked for them DMs. You
I
asked
didn't
for
put a name on it. I just said
Niggas asked for
to
them DMs.
balance it out. It could come from anyone.
That's
You know what I'm saying? AJ91X2
We're off the rails.
says that he's the number one Cole fan in our chat.
Man.
Jaw
Salute,
with the
what?
slick puns. That wasn't a diss. What exactly are you disappointed about? Yeah, I didn't mean it for it to be a pun, but it kind of worked out. Gmail, one of our best supporters, he
Salute.
tells us
G-Bell
about ourselves
Talk.
too.
That's the homie.
He says, another great episode. Design, another supporter says, dope show. Thanks for the readout. I'm good with the
Appreciate you.
compromise.
salute.
The struggle stream says he's agreeing with Sin and everyone else about the sentiment about Chad. He says, Chad is the key. Pharrell is definitely good, but him with Chad is great. Jesus Christ. Last but not least, Stephon Shortridge says, we on the West Coast forgive you. We're back. So the West Coast forgives us again after you know we
Appreciate it.
you know what I
I can
mean?
throw up my W's
Salute.
again.
You know what I mean?
Salute.
Big West, you know what I'm
You know?
saying?
West, y'all.
Last but not least, we are somewhere in New York City.
Huh?
The weather is nice.
Super nice. You see me
80-degree weather. This
In my
nigga with
shorts.
his shorts on and shit.
showing legs and shit,
Wildin'. You know what I mean? You have to censor his whole, like, you know what I mean?
bro.
But the weather's
Shit.
nice. The vigorous are wild. I seen the nigga sleeping on the concrete on the way here to the studio, even
Wow.
laid out on Eastern Parkway. So for all of those vagrants who are on the concrete sleep, crip walking on the petunias to keep the West Coast theme alive, we need you too.
Get off my lawn.
Get off Cecilia's lawn.
Nah, nobody's crip walking on my petunias today. Because the person on my lawn is not from that side of things. He's not from the west. They're from the south.
Shit.
But I want to make it clear because this is gonna hurt a little bit.
Mm.
Because this is somebody that I respect a great deal as a producer, as a beatsmith, as a songwriter, as a hit maker. You know what I mean? There's so many accolades. You know what I mean?
It's not Hitmaker?
It's not. It's definitely not.
What was Hitmaker's name before you said?
Youngberg.
Youngberg.
Youngberg? Not, we talking about, I fucked it up. It was the Alpha Clown nigga. My fault. Sorry. We're not talking about you, bitch nigga.
Oh, shit.
That's you. We know he watching. He's stealing bars. You know what I mean?
Youngberg, not Oldberg.
Yo, I didn't see where that was going until it's too late, man.
Stop biting Curtis King. The only thing y'all got to come is y'all light skin. You know what I mean?
That's it.
Fix your fucking camera, biting ass nigga.
Sheesh.
Man.
Cook.
But yeah, man. This guy's a legend. I don't throw that word around lightly. When you look up the word legend, that's one of the faces you're gonna see in the dictionary. I mean, gave us incredible hits, incredible classic
He's Stephen
songs.
A in us right now.
Yeah.
Walk down.
We have Dirt Off Your Shoulder. You Owe Me. Big Pimpin', Ride or Die, Can't Stand the Rain. We got all the Aaliyah
Rock
stuff.
the boat, hot like fire.
We got all the Genuine stuff. Even
Hot
down,
Boys.
Boogie.
even down to the Genuine. I'm sorry. Even down to the Justin bangers.
Shout out
Say, I'm a
too.
little bit younger. Sounding
Shout
like
out.
the Nelly
What was the name of the
Furtado
song?
days.
It was Play It. That was the name of that
Nelly
group.
Furtado.
Promiscuous girl.
Oh yeah.
Girl.
But in recent years, he's looked very funny in the light. You know what I mean? One of the things that I've had an issue with in recent years is that he. We all had to live through the pandemic. One of the greatest things that came out of the pandemic was Versus, and it showed how. I mean, this culture of ours, this thing of ours, like it makes something out of nothing. You know what I mean? We had nothing at the time. We created Versus. You know what I mean? This man acquires it and squanders it, sells it off, took the culture and just sold it off to the
I
highest.
forgot about that.
You know what I mean? That already rubbed me the wrong way. Obviously, I follow him on social media on Instagram. He's
Drop the beat.
I'm getting there.
Oh my
I'm
God.
getting there. I'm getting there. But y'all gonna let me talk?
No, we want you to talk about the other shit. Fuck.
Walk him down.
I follow him on Instagram. He's dropping new beats. You know what I mean? He's dropping new productions. All of them mid. Every last one of them. All right. See, y'all laughing. Y'all enjoying what I'm saying, right? So let me get there.
You ain't lying though.
Every last one of them is fucking mid. You know what I mean? I'm like, all right, this guy is wild.
You think that Megan album's coming out?
Megan album's never coming out. And so like it's just tough to watch as a legend, right? And now all of a sudden we get here to 2025, and I already knew he was dabbling with this with AI shit. You know what I mean? But now he's announcing that he is signing. Timbaland is officially signing his first AI artist called Tata.
Who's signing this artist? Who's it?
Hold on.
Who's signing the artist?
Hold on. This person is signing their first AI artist. The genre is called A-pop, artificial pop. Who I'm obviously talking about now is Timbaland.
What was that for? What's his name? Get off my lawn. Fuck that guy.
Who I'm obviously talking about right now, if you haven't guessed by now, is Timbaland. If you're living under a rock and you didn't get the context clues from all the songs that I listed, the Versus thing, all of that, Timbaland, and here's the thing, like over the years, I've sort of gotten like a weird feeling and vibe from him where like he's one to be quick to sell the culture for a bag. You know what I mean? He's quick to sell out the culture. You know what I mean? Like all right, the Justin joints, cool. Nelly Furtado, you know what I mean? Bubba Sparks.
Jeez.
Leave Nelly. She
forgot
is
about
Spanish.
that.
All right, but here's the thing. Like,
That's a
to me,
couple
as a producer, remember when we had that
She's
conversation?
from the 6. Watch it.
Remember when we had the conversation about the tiers of hip hop producers?
Yes, we did.
And we talked about Timbaland, and there was just something about Timbaland where in hip hop conversations, we had to keep him out of a certain tier because he doesn't really fuck with hip hop like that unless you are a top dog. If you're Jay-Z, if you're Missy, you know what I mean? If you're Nas, he'll fuck with you. If you're Nelly, he'll fuck with you. You know what I mean? He's not like a Kanye or a Just Blaze or even
a Pharrell and Chad. You know what I mean?
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or Neptune's where he'll fuck with a, you know what I mean, with Eclipse. You know what I mean? Or fuck with a, you know what I mean, a more underground artist. You know what I mean?
Family and shit.
Family. You know what I mean? Kanye gave wildfire
nigga,
beats to Talib Kweli and Mos Def and Common, right? For the culture,
Same
for the
kind of
music.
life.
Timbaland would never do that. You know what I mean? And so to me, like, even from then, I was looking at him like, yo, why you don't fuck with certain artists? You're only gonna fuck with top tier artists? Yeah. You know what I mean? And now I'm looking at this and he's creating an actual AI artist. And when you look at the picture, why is this AI artist Asian? I need to know why the fuck out of all the ethnicities, out of all the faces that he could have put on an AI artist, the face is Asian with pink hair, bro.
I got a reason. I'm not in the camp. I don't know anything. But for the sake of argument, man, maybe somebody might get mad at me, but I'm gonna say it anyway. That K-pop shit is the wave right now.
That's what I thought of, to be honest.
It's the wave right now.
I thought maybe I was tripping.
Plus, this
The
might be a way for
pink,
Timbo
the pink
to get
hair
some
with that
terrible
look, that's
bars off.
K-pop.
That's the easy answer. You know what I mean?
I'm just saying that's what's going on.
I understand that that's what's going on.
AI.
But it's just it's such a shameless move.
A back chase.
A back chase, of course. You know what I mean?
That's his MO.
But and at a time when like the artificial intelligence thing is such a hot button topic, and there's so many, you know, things that we should be concerned about. Like just recently, there's a story that came out that was talking about scientists are finding out that certain AI models are defying the commands that they're getting.
Skynet, they're becoming self-aware.
Facts.
You know what I mean? Like it. You know, I could go into the details, but we got to wrap it up. But like, it's just it's so weird. It's so crazy for him to start to do this now at this point in time when like there's so many things that we should be afraid of with this AI technology that we're not fully sure of how it's going to affect our lives, our culture, humanity. Like it's so shameless to me. It is absolutely without shame. This guy is a legend in the game, but to see him pull this move now, you 100% unequivocally need to get off my lawn. Because this is one of the worst moves I've seen in a long time from a renowned person of the culture.
I won't snatch his hip hop card away, but this is nasty. And this is not the first time he's dabbled with the AI shit. I think this might be the second time he kicked him off the lawn.
He dropped something with Biggie.
Did
He
he
did a
not?
little Biggie
He
AI
got the
joint.
newest Biggie
I feel like you
song.
kicked us back in for this AI shit before, like maybe 2 years ago.
Yeah.
The Biggie joint.
Pre-Drake AI shit.
It was 4 bats I was thinking of. Was it 4 bats of AI artists?
Yep.
You know what I mean? They tried to pretend he wasn't for a minute. It was trying to some dark-skinned nigga who looked like that voice could not have come out of his vocal cords. I remember that shit.
Bats.
You know what I mean? Huh?
Now it's 4 bats.
Yeah.
He got his bag though, right?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But when it comes to Timbaland, it's like sometimes when you younger and you just in the midst of this rap shit and this hip hop shit, you don't really pay attention to shit. But niggas be showing you who they are in real time, and we just be missing it sometimes. Now, bear with me. Timbaland been full of shit since that time he showed up out of nowhere. Still chubby as fuck. But decided to go in the gym and work in his arms only. Remember that era? His arms was mad crazy, but he was still fat Timbaland.
Diesel.
And we should have known right then and there.
Yeah.
Right then and there. Like, bro, like, what type of nigga goes to the gym and just does curls? No cardio. Really think about it.
That's
no
crazy
cardio. Still big Timbaland, but his arms is mad jacked.
Diesel.
Then he did the lipo after that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But I was like, what's up? Why this nigga arms so aki, but he still... But you don't think nothing because the beats is fire. We listening to the Promiscuous Girl. We listening to Timberlake. We don't give a fuck. You know what I mean? But in hindsight, this nigga's a sick nigga.
Yeah.
He really been sick the whole time, bro.
I felt like when he dropped the Biggie joint, that was more like a sample. If we was to fuck with that back then we would have got way more.
But we told him to fuck out of here, and he did it anyway because he did it anyway.
And that's why he took this
If
break.
I could show up at Aki arms and still chubby, he don't care. He don't give a fuck.
Arms, bro.
He don't care. Sin mad, we mad, cause that's some nasty shit. And then you do fucking Korean looking girl. So you basically chasing the bag. You tell niggas to their face, you chasing the bag. You don't care.
If I did it with Magoo, I could do it with this thing. God damn it. You know what I'm saying?
Magoo was 2 packs of ass as a rapper in the 90s when bars mattered.
Yo,
and he pulled it off.
Hold on. R.I.P. to Magoo.
R.I.P. But he's talking about his ability to rap. Ain't no disrespect. But when you first heard Magoo on Up Jumps the Boogie, Sin, what did you think?
Brother, please.
Cool beat.
All right.
Cool beat.
All right.
Timbo.
We was all watching BET. We seen the video. We was like, what is going on?
It's a wild video.
What is this? We came to love it over time because we love the unique nature of the Sonics.
Creative.
But the recoil was like, whoa, what is this?
Straight up.
What the fuck?
Straight up.
This nigga Timbaland been doing this shit from day one, bro.
Day one.
But it was so good and so unique that we turned a blind eye. Now you out here, you digitize an Asian woman to look like a Korean pop star, to make a pop record for a bag. You wasted all these good beats of all these rappers out here.
Real humans.
And on top of that, like, it's not just the artist. He's creating an AI record label.
What?
He don't give a fuck.
Stage Zero.
That's a website. Like, what the fuck? AI art.
This nigga took the versus money and doing all kinds of shit.
Timbo.
Where versus at now?
And wasn't he doing some type of like unknown artist development?
Right.
Type
Yeah, that was a thing too.
He was just feeding the AI machine all of your hard work.
That's
Timbo,
different.
it is too late to apologize, brother.
Download.
Timbaland.
Wow.
Man,
And he did put out a statement.
he's one of our legends though, Sam.
Nasty word.
He did put out a statement. So just in the interest of being thorough about this,
Mhm.
this is what Timbaland said. The first phrase is weird. The first line. I know I'm trolling, but let's have real conversation. I love my independent artists. This doesn't mean I'm not working with real artists anymore. And I don't train AI off y'all music. This just means more creativity for creators.
Here's the problem with that.
And he's going live tomorrow, he says.
Here's the problem with that. The way AI works is even if you don't train the AI to bite, let's say not Sin, Diddy, or Mase, AI pulls from what's ever in the atmosphere, whatever's digital. So Sin drop a beat right now and AI can access it, that AI can replicate a Sin beat. He don't gotta be trained, it's there. It's pulling from an informational substack, bro.
Right.
And it does that for eternity. It just learns and learns and learns.
Turn that
and
shit
learns.
off.
Turn that shit off.
Come on, bro. Timbaland, man. I'm hurt, B.
It's nasty work,
Crushed.
man.
Crushed.
I'm hurt. Like, this is the first, the amount of shit we talked this episode, like, no one doesn't even know what to say to this shit. That's how
Right.
ridiculous it is.
Nasty, bro.
Listen,
Man,
nasty.
look, fuck you, Timbaland. I'm saying, I'm gonna get my J-Mo on. Shout out to J-Mo, no shame. Fuck you, Timbaland. You bugging the fuck out, you shameless motherfucker.
Shit.
But this is episode 125 of the Rap Roundtable. Fun episode. We was like, we're not gonna do a marathon episode. We end up going 2 hours and 20 minutes anyway.
Crazy last time.
Diddy the Balance. Take us home.
Yo, you know what it is, man. Hit the like button for New York and the world's #1 podcast, man. You see what we doing out here. Shout out to Walt the Great. Shout out to Mase though, keeping you locked in with everything that's going on. The beat you hear from this gentleman right here, Sincere the Rap Snob, he makes beats.
Super producer.
Shout out to Jarvie, hardest working man in show business, legend in 4 games like Pee Wee Kirkland, man.
Like a horse.
Shout out to the chat, man. Hit the like, share, subscribe, tell a friend to tell a friend. You see the good merch these good brothers have on Cloth Certified. Shout out to BTG. We're going to have those going website on the way. We know you've been asking for it. We've been putting everything right so it could be the right way for y'all to do it the way we supposed to do it. You know the vibe. Dini the balance of the force of our powers combined. The Rap Roundtable, episode 125. Get your ones up, get your likes up, get your loves up. Put the hate down. We love y'all. We out of here.
Can't recreate this, Timbo.
125 in the books. While you other niggas struggle for content because
You niggas won!